what's up, Zach? Got Zach in the house. Good question from ATV Fool. No. There's no link for this song. I just made it. I heard a bunch of dudes on the air fighting with each other, and I was like, oh, man, I got to make a song on that. Oh, I love that song, though, too. It just cracks me up. By the way, you can email me at josh@hamtactical.com if you have a link to, like, people complaining on the air. I do want, like, a collection of them that I can sample and make music out of whenever I get some miraculous amount of time, which I don't have, but, you know. Yes, I made that with the OP1. Wait, where is it? There it is. I made that song with the little OP1 keyboard sampling with it. Dude, it's so much fun. I think I made most of that on a plane, actually, when I was flying somewhere. So, hey, what's up? Everything Ham Radio. Appreciate you coming on out. So, yeah, thanks, everybody, for trying to make contacts or just hanging out and having fun in the chat. I love that. Love everybody hanging out. It was really fun to work a pile up like that. I'm still like, whoo, that was crazy. So this is the after chat. Our goal here is to answer your ham radio questions, whether they come in the chat room, on YouTube, on Twitch, on Facebook, wherever we're live streaming. But the best way for us to give you the best answers is if you join us on the Discord, and the link is in the video description right here to join us over there. And what you want to do is you want to go over to the left-hand side, hashtag live-stream is the text chat for Discord. It's just like the YouTube chat, so you don't really have to join for that. But two below that, live-stream after chat. If you click on that, set up a mic and a speaker. Headphones would be great if you got it. You can ask your questions live because inevitably somebody's going to ask a question and they think it's an easy one or they think, you know, they can get an answer, right? The reality is we usually got to come back and ask you, like, how big of your property? Do you got a tree in the backyard you can throw an antenna wire over? How much money do you actually have to spend on this? And yes, if you just say my budget is cheap, we're going to ask you how cheap, right? So, of course, that's the secret. And don't be surprised if the answer to the question is, it depends, but I promise we'll try harder than that. Okay, to make this work, I got to go hang out with my friends on the Discord. It's very much what you would hear is if you joined us on that side of it, you'd hear all these wonderful people talking. Oh, I got a message here. Hold on. There you go. Now that we are on the after chat, I can say I saw something that I've never seen on YouTube. I'm gonna do this before I join the after chat. Completely unrelated to my channel, has nothing to do with my channel. There's a guy named Nikocado Avocado. I'm sure you've probably all heard of him, right? He got relatively large eating food on YouTube. Well, 2 years ago, he binge created a mountain of videos. And then he's just been posting those videos for 2 years as he went off and lost 250 pounds. He dropped a video yesterday where he's super skinny. It is insane. He's fully skinny. He spent 2 years just slowly dropping videos while he was still very large, and he dropped a new video and he's skinny again. It's like, what world are we living in? YouTube is crazy, man. YouTube is a crazy place.
Actually, between the horns on the top of the head. So with that,
Josh.
hi Josh.
Hi Josh. How's it going, everybody? Thanks for chasing. For those that did,
you can't interrupt the goat talk, Josh. You just can't.
Were we talking about like owning goats, like actual?
Yes.
Goats? Oh yeah.
Yes.
Where's Leia?
I was just gonna say I wish Leia was here. She'd be all over that. She wants to own goats. Actually, I think I want goats more than she does. She wants chickens. She wants the chickens more than anything.
Yeah.
We have chickens and we have goats, and we're probably going to have some mini Nubians up here in fall or in spring.
Awesome. But where are you going to keep them, Josh?
Oh, I'm not getting any goats. That's not going to happen while we're in this property. But it is something Leia wants. Yeah. So let me control my.
I was thinking maybe you were going to do what I did and get you some property.
Well, getting property is not out of the question in the future. I'm likely not moving anywhere other than, have a rental or some kind of vacation property of some kind in the future.
Right.
That kind of thing. All right. Well, this is the after chat, the lovely voices, the voices for radio, right, that you hear on the air and here is our Discord. So hopefully you're hearing that on the YouTube side and Facebook and all that stuff. So how this works is real simple. People like Eric, They say question, or they say at Ham Radio Crash Course, or whatever, and we try and work through them. But we always start on the Discord. So if you are a newcomer to the Ham Radio Crash Course Discord, if you're here for the first time, we'd love to just have you introduce yourself and say hi. That's the first thing. This is kind of like going to a club meeting where I ask you to raise your hand, say hello, are you new here? That kind of thing. But if you have a question to go along with your saying hi, you get priority, and we spend the most amount of time helping newbies every week when we're out here doing this. So if there's anybody who is here for the first time that would like to say hi or ask a question, come now.
Hello, this is WA7MPA. I've been in this Discord. I just haven't actually cooperated.
No problem. Well, hey, thanks for saying hi. Appreciate you. Do you have any questions or anything like that?
Not really. I just love your channel, and my wife actually got her tech by watching your videos.
Excellent. Well, if you could do something while you're watching, mute the YouTube side, because you're hearing us faster than the YouTube is updating. I can hear myself in the background. So yeah, hang out, man, and you're hearing the live, the most live you can be. So thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right. Who else? Anybody else here for the first time that'd like to say hi or ask a question? Come now. First timers in the Discord first. Give it the spirit fingers. Well, I will.
Hello.
Oh, Adam. I see an Adam OM1ASZ. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Very tired. Very tired. It's 3:31 a.m. here. I have a question. First of all, thank you for doing what you do for the community. And I have a question. I am looking for a handheld VHF, UHF radio, and I would like to do satellites. But the thing is that I can't find any duplex radio, but I do not necessarily need it, because the main use case for this radio would be like do it all, but the digital satellites with digipeters with AX25, I believe.
Oh, yes. So like Green Cube, right? You're talking about Green Cube? Or the packet ones?
The packet ones, yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, so the good news is almost just about any radio you can do packet with. You just have to be able to feed the audio in and out into like a TNC, terminal node controller. That will do it. Digital Rancher isn't here, is he? He's not. Oh, bummer. I just scrolled up and saw he's not here today, because he's the perfect guy to answer this. So the answer to your question, well, there's multiple answers. The first is if you wanted a full duplex radio, the best but also kind of hard to get now is the Kenwood THD72. That is a fantastic radio. It is no longer sold on the market. There's not a whole lot of full duplex radios that are out there that are handhelds. Jeff is saying the Wouxun Q10. I have not tested that, so I don't know if that's actually the right answer. Dawn, though, is saying the ICOM IC2730. That is a mobile radio, but the advantage of that is you could potentially use some of that more power with the packet stations, and it is full duplex. It's a very good radio. And you can use that in your car. You can use that for VHF, UHF, mobile, repeater, simplex, whatever you want to do with it. Also, as you're coming up to speed and experimenting with satellites, there's nothing wrong with like just getting two Baofangs or two inexpensive radios and having one is your downlink on UHF or VHF, and then the other is your uplink on UHF, VHF. Although if you're doing packet, it's usually one band, it's just one frequency. So you've got a couple of options. Antenna-wise, have you thought about antennas, or what are you thinking about doing there?
Well, right now I only have the VX3. I got it for €5, which is like $5, so it was bargain, second hand. Battery was destroyed. I replaced it. So I am looking for like handheld to do it all. You know, I would like some the APRS stuff for the satellites, and the most I am looking around to know how much to save up. You know, so
Yeah.
I was looking into some. I would like some radios that has 2 receivers, so that I can put it on table and on one receiver monitor the local repeater, and on the second one monitor various frequencies like scan something. And I would also like USB-C charging. The next one is duplex. I am reading this from a table.
Yeah.
The next feature would be duplex, but that's unobtainium right now. The TH72 has it, but the new ones do not. The next feature would be TNC to do the other digital stuff like WinLink, and to do that it would be also great if it had Bluetooth. So, but that's not a very high level requirement. I can do it on the cable. Then there is some miscellaneous stuff like high visibility screen and IP rating and QSO recording, but also the Kenwood has T9 dialing, like not dialing, the keyboard has the 9 buttons, so that's a plus as well. I believe the Wushun Q10 that you mentioned has the T9, so I will check that.
Yeah, so boy, with the menu items of options that you're looking for, it does limit what you're looking at pretty severely. But straight up, like what you said, the THD72 sounds like it's actually kind of all the things, because the THD72 has an internal KISS TNC for doing AX25. It is full duplex, so you can have the dual receivers and the full duplex, like, the crossband capability for listening on one frequency while transmitting on the other. Yeah, K6ARK, actually a number of people have mentioned considering looking into the new Yaesu QRP radio that's coming out. What is that, the FX1 or the F1X? Somebody will correct me in the chat. I have not...
FT1X.
Yeah, FT1X, yeah.
Yes, that looks the best, but it's not handheld. But
yeah,
if I can't get some duplex radio, maybe I will look into that. But the price which is expected for that is crazy for a student, you know.
That was going to be my other question: is what kind of price are you looking at? What's your budget?
My budget is time. You know, I will just wait till I save up for something, but I would like it to be a good radio which will last me a long time. Like I have the FT891 which I bought. I saved up and I bought it, and it's like radio for basically everything. For a good solar cycle, for bed, you know, for the next 10 years, and I will use it's just enough for my license, which is 100 watts, so it's fine. It's mobile because I mostly work portable, but if I want to transmit from the student dormitory, we have a radio club there, so I can do anything there.
Honestly, I think, given that you're a student, you got... So the good news is you got a lot of options. You actually you do, and in this case, I think some inexpensive handhelds might be the way to do it. Just have a one for UHF, one for VHF, and just have two that you can go back and forth with. There are a number of TNC type devices that you can either build, or you can get something like the MobiLink. The MobiLink TNC will do it. So there's a number of options for that as well. You could hypothetically even find like a used oh boy, what am I thinking of? The 717, the Yaesu 717. or 817, sorry. And then you could just use a handheld on the receive side, vice versa, because the 817 is going to be pretty useful as far as being all mode and all band. So that might be an option as well. It sounds like you sometimes have access to pretty good used stuff. That VX3 price, by the way, that is a fantastic price for that radio. Good on you for that one. Let's go to the chat. Is there anybody on the Discord voice that would like to add their thoughts? Let's see if we can open it up a little bit. Okay or not?
Well, I mean, I would encourage him to watch some of Rob's videos on satellite. But the thing is, when you consider like Green Cube, that becomes. I'm not really sure myself what's required to hit Green Cube. Do you really need full duplex or
no? It's UHF.
Is that, yeah. See, so I mean, for Green Cube and hitting that kind of satellite, I don't know that it's required to have full duplex. But if you're going to do full duplex now, I would really strongly look at what Rob's doing, which is just, he's got that little pack on the front of his chest, and he's got the 2730 in there with a small battery on it, and then he's got a handheld elk antenna, and that's what he does for satellite work, but he's not really working digital satellites at that point.
Yeah, that's a really good point. The problem with the 2730 I was just thinking about is that it's FM, right? So the 817 or the 818 would be nice because it's all band, all mode, and then you could just use another handheld. There's a lot of options. You have a lot of options.
Yeah. The only thing I would wonder myself is how readily available are those in the country that he's in.
Well, he got an 891.
I just don't know.
Sounds like he's a Yaesu guy too.
Yeah, I mean, if there are 817s around there, I don't know.
Yeah. If he's pulling down $5 deals on a VX3, I don't know. It sounds like he might be able to snag something pretty sweet.
Right, true.
And for whatever it's worth, Adam, there, I just tagged you and tagged Rob's channel. He's a big satellite guy, as people have said.
Both literally and figuratively.
Yes. He's big.
Yes, thank you. I was wondering if the Rob is the digital arranger. I was only watching him for like a month, the VX6, VX3 deal was crazy stuff. It was basically untested. I went to Vienna with some guys from my radio club for some flea market, and they knew I was looking for some handheld to start me. I didn't have a license then yet. It was on January last year, and I asked the guy like, what's the cost, and he said €5. I told him yes.
Oh yeah.
It didn't have antenna, but I got the box, the manual, the transceiver, but the battery was dead. I told our guys to test it with their handhelds, and they said I pushed PTT and it died, but I heard some noise, so it must be working. Then I got an antenna for €1, and I am happy. I can post a photo of it. The rubber wheel on top. This was. Sorry for my English. The rubber stuff on top disintegrated, and I had to get some other battery, but I am happy with the radio. It's good for basic stuff in our city, in Bratislava, for the repeater and some guys on the nearby hills, but I would like some like do it all radio, with a good receiver. And the thing with the satellite is we will be doing we will be building CubeSat, and it will have digipeater, but I don't think I'm able to talk more. It's very, very early for that, but some of those digipeaters, some of the CubeSats do have this radio that we will be using. So I would try to work them. Yes. I will buy the Arrow antenna, the dual band that everybody uses.
Yeah, elk is also good too. You might want to consider that. All right. Well,
What?
giving you some elk is another manufacturer. It's a log periodic antenna. It's also a really good one as well. That's what a number of people use that too. I don't know if you can get that where you're at, but that's a good one. We'll mention really quickly. The D72 prices can fluctuate because it's used, but I do know Adam got one for like $300, and I've seen them before at about $300. That's a pretty good deal if you can score one of those. So I hope that helps.
Would be great. That would be great. But I checked the eBay prices, and it's going for like 800.
Don't get it on eBay. You'll have to buy it at a handful.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Adam,
I will try it.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Appreciate the question. That was a good one. That one was
You might also look at the Cubic Quad antennas out of Collinsville.
There you go.
Yes. Can you please write it and tag me, please?
Oh yeah, tag him in the Discord. Well, thank you. I appreciate you, Adam, for hanging out and joining us. So, yeah, hang out. Feel free to ask questions as they come up. All right. Anybody else here for the first time that'd like to say hi or ask a question? Go ahead. Anyone else? Oh man,
I'm not new, but it feels like the first time.
Who's here for the first time? Who was that voice?
No. I said it just feels like it's my first time. It's been so long.
It's a voice that is locked in my memory. Where is that voice coming from? Where have they been? How's it going, Frank? I'm glad you're back, man. How you been?
I'll send you a list shortly.
What have you been up to, man? You've been busy.
Oh, I'll get into that when you go through the YouTube.
There you go.
Story.
We're waiting with bated breath. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you back. All right. Anybody else here for the first time like to say hi or ask a question? First-timer questions. This is your time to get your questions asked. If I don't hear anybody on Discord, I'm going to YouTube. So on YouTube, type in the word question or at Ham Radio Crash Course, and we'll take your questions live. All right. Who's anybody new? First-timer. Let's go. All right. Well, Adam's question was very good, so let's see if I can score some DX here. What's going on here? Why am I not getting any of them DXs? Why aren't they hearing me, guys? All right, let's see what we got over on YouTube, see if there's anybody with a comment or question. Congrats. Thank you for that. Appreciate trying to hit New Zealand, but they're not coming in very strong. It looks like some people are having questions worked in the chat, which I love to see. All right, somebody says, did you see that Hans, QRP Labs, posted on getting single sideband working on the QMX? I did not. That's fantastic news. Has anybody, is that just an announcement that it's working, or is it a firmware update that he's making available? Because that would be the best news if there's firmware. Let's see. Zercher01 says, looking for an all-band mobile radio. Aren't we all? It sounds like everybody's kind of waiting for the Yaesu. Of course, the 705 exists. It's all band, all mode. The problem's the wrong word, but mobile radios, people often like to use 100 watt, barefoot radios often, and neither one of those are. There are not, aside from the 7100, the ICOM 7100 is 100 watt, all band, all mode. Let's see. Chris, Radio and Life, says, Josh, do I need a balun or un for a dipole to make it work on 10, 20, and 40 meters? That is a very good question. That is some beginner question like extraordinaire for getting on HF. So you need a balun for a dipole. So a dipole is a balanced antenna. And what do we mean by that? So a dipole is like a horizontal antenna with two wires that spread out at very specific lengths. And we use a balun. So the bal in balun is balanced, meaning the antenna side, and the un is unbalanced. And so if you're feeding your antenna with coax, then it is unbalanced, because coax by its very nature is unbalanced. So balun, your balanced antenna, is a monoband dipole. Now he's asking if I want to make a dipole work on 10, 20, and 40. So if you're making a dipole, you're likely cutting the elements to be resonant on those frequencies. So a 20-meter set of legs, a 20-meter, 10-meter, and 40-meter set of legs that go along to that balun. That's why things like fan dipoles exist. They're multiple element dipole antennas. So it's a 1-to-1. Oh, yeah, there it is. 1-to-1 specifically is the balun you're trying to hit. Oh, did I get him? I got, yes. Oh, South Korea. Let's go. Man, the bands are open, guys. The big-time openings going on right now. So, yeah. Now, an un is going to be an unbalanced antenna. So if you're using like a long wire antenna, like a end-fed half-wave, for instance, then it's just going to be a super long wire that you're feeding or receiving from the N, and you would need an un to do that. So, yeah, here's an example of a fan dipole. Who posted that? Of course, Jody did.
Jody.
Yeah. So that's a fan dipole. See, there's multiple elements there, and it's 40, 20, 10, just like the one you want to build. So there you go. Whoa. Well, excuse me for the sneeze there. All right. Cool. So that was a good question. Anybody have anything to add to that? I don't want to cut anybody off if they have thoughts. Okay. Let's see. All right, another good beginner question from Little Insulator, and that's literally a man on a on a power line. Hello, my first live stream here. What's a good VHF UHF antenna that you recommend? See, this is why you should join us on the Discord. It depends. What do you mean? Like handheld, a mobile for your car, at home? What are we talking about? That's the big question, right? So we would need to know what you're looking for there. Steven with a good question. So obviously the answer to this question is, of course, the Ham Radio Crash Course buy, sell, and used radios that we have on Facebook and our Discord. Of course, that's the right answer. No, so I like to use eBay for price listings, and that gives me an idea of like what the people in the know are paying for the radio. It gives you kind of a baseline. You will find some of the best deals, though, at Hamfest, like in person. Obviously, that's not the question you're asking, though. And then QRZ.com has used radios. Actually, if you go back and watch 2 weekends ago, I did a video on how to rescue a radio, like rescue in the sense of like I'm talking about a dog or something like that. It was kind of a joke, but that's where I go through and explaining like how to try and get the best deal on used equipment. That's a good point too from Dawn. Dawn says that there are retail companies that have used consignment radios, like Main Trading Company, Gigaparts, and R&L. Yeah, that's another option.
Yeah, the best deals I've actually made are through those three companies. I got that whole KX3 kit from, I literally stole it from Gigaparts. And R&L, there's a number of things that I bought from R&L, the 857D and several other radios like that are just killer deals. So definitely check them out. And R&L will print on their website exactly how the radio tested, so you kind of know what you're getting before you even buy it. There's pictures of the actual radio on there. I think they have the best used site for radios. From Gigaparts, you really can't tell. Main Trading usually only has 1 or 2 pictures, but they don't go through and actually run the radio through a series of tests, which RNL does.
That's incredibly valuable. Is seeing the testing that comes out of the radio on their website. That's really, really helpful because a lot of times you don't get that on a lot of online listings. So you should contact the seller for sure, but those are also good notes. Good points, Don. There was let's see. We got an answer to our question about antennas. Little Insulator says a good base station antenna. So pretty much any of the dual band ground plane antennas that are sold by Comet or Diamond, the ones that are in like the white tubes, are very good. They're very good antennas. If you can bump it up to like the 10-foot size, around 10, 12, 11 feet around there, those are really, really good. They have 5-foot versions, which are fine too. But I really do like those. I don't know if they're a true collinear. I don't think they are. They're actually a ground plane. They've got little spikes coming off the bottom of it. And those are like great for base station. They last really long up there too. All right. I'm looking at the chats. Anybody on the Discord? Let's open it up to Discord comments and questions. Anything going on that you guys want to talk about or anything fun you guys have seen? You guys are going to make me work through this whole thing, aren't you?
I actually did a POTA today, and I haven't done one in probably, well, since before I started moving.
Okay.
So
how'd it go?
I just, it was good in that I got 16 contacts in a very short period of time, but all of the contacts I was making, literally my S meter did not move. It just flat didn't move. And so when I was trying to work these guys, and what I was doing was park to parks. I did 16 parks to parks.
Oh, wow.
And so I could barely pull them out. There was zero noise floor, but they were not moving my S meter. And I was giving them 5 ones, and I was getting 5 ones back. But like I said, I got 16. So I don't know if it's the bands or if it's my radio, because literally that 891 did not show any type of S meter. I mean, it was just flat below 1 on every contact.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all working now, right? So you're running off a ham stick still, right? Are you still doing ham stick?
No, ATOS one.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, I just love the ATOS, man. You just go, oh, I want to be on 40 meters, tuner, and it, a couple of minutes or a couple of seconds later, boom, you're on 40.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, I want to go to 10. So it's just, and I don't know if you saw Tom M0 URY, I believe it is. He was showing off a device that comes from West Mountain Radio that will take a tar heel and do the same thing. So it will auto-tune the antenna. Yeah. Now, how it works, I don't know.
Drop the link to that thing, please. I'm
–
considering looking at those Tar Heels. I'm fine with my ATOS, but I know that if I went to the Tar Heel, I might get a little bit better performance.
Yeah, I dropped one to Jason, and he said, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'll look at it," but whether he actually does or not. But I'll drop it in the chat in a second.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
Wes,
go for it, Bill.
Sorry, that West Mountain Radio rig is unobtainium at the moment. I've been waiting on it for over a year, and it's supposed to be available at the end of this year. But they attribute that to the chip shortage. But I have a Diamond SD330 screwdriver, and it worked with that one too. So I've been waiting on it, and I can't wait.
Nice, love that. All right, let's see. This is a tough one. We're gonna take the opinions of the chat here on Discord for that. Oh, here we go. New Zealand. I'm making a contact with New Zealand right now on 10 meters. 10 meters is nice. Good antenna and wattage suggestions for DX in the city like NYC. Had no luck so far. So to be honest with you, I'm not surprised you haven't had any luck. New York City is very difficult to make contacts in with just your noise floor alone, and then all these buildings and stuff like that. Incredibly difficult. If you are high up, almost anything will work. The problem is, particularly as you start going lower in frequency, your antennas start getting longer and bigger and longer and all that stuff. So we'd have to know HN, like, are you talking about a balcony? Are you talking about hoisting an antenna up with a mast? Like, what do you mean? I don't know, right? So you'd have to tell us what your thoughts are. Give us a little bit of background there, and we'll come back to you. Question from Eric: am I using the Comet Chaw 250B yet? I am, and in fact, I was doing WinLink on packet with the D75, which, by the way, I have I've used many times in the past, to a gateway that I normally can hit with the handheld, and I wasn't able to hit it, so I had to go to my backup station, which I did hit. So I'm not so sure on how well that antenna performs, but man, a lot of people do not like that antenna. So wow, that was wild. All the comments I got on that one. Let's see. Oh, chat just jumped. Peter asks. Oh wait, should we go back? We'll wait for HN to come back with some more details, and then we'll go to the chat. Peter asks, got a POTA 20 mast. They picked it up at Gigaparts. What are your go-to customizations for masts to make them easy to use in the field? The biggest one is drill a hole in that cap and then make some kind of tether so that you don't lose the cap. Put a length of cordage on there so that you can't lose it, because that's the biggest problem I have, is that those caps are just too easy to lose, which stinks. You don't want to lose that thing. Very important to keep that. All right. Going through. There's lots of links that are getting dropped in the Discord, by the way. Videos, links, pictures, and all that stuff. So if you're not on the Discord, you might want to... That's funny. Somebody...
So have you been able to test a...
Go ahead, Don.
Sorry. I was going to say, have you been able to test yet a Chameleon Skyloop 2.0?
No, because I don't have the space for a Skyloop.
Come on, Josh.
Have you tested it?
No, I don't. I'm going to build my own, but because I want to go 160, not 80. But no, I did look at it though, because it's a lazy man's way of doing it, because they've got it all built for you. So, and it's not a bad price, $300.
No,
because I think, the thing is, I've already got the materials I need to build one. So other than the thing I don't see if they don't supply the ladder line. So I guess, that's the expense I have yet to put out. Because I don't know, once I put it up, how far away I'm going to have to push it from the shack to actually get it deployed. And then I'll have to run that much ladder line back to my shack. And I haven't even bought my shack yet. So I meant to go do that today, but I just wanted to POTA, so.
Yeah. I would love a Skyloop. I want a Skyloop so bad, but yeah, no, I hear you.
Yeah.
All right, so we got some clarification from HN. They said, I have access to window and terrace. I have tried a long wire with a 9-to-1 balun. So I'm assuming you have a tuner. You're appropriately using that non-resonant antenna to make contacts. Hopefully, yes, right? Because otherwise, that's a problem. Is get yourself a tuner that can appropriately use the antenna. So that sounds about par for the course. Is you've got access to a space and you can shoot something out the side of a building, but you're just not hearing anything. So that might be the first question: is, are you actually hearing anybody out there on that antenna? I know a lot of people have trouble with that in itself. I had a hell of a time when I was in New York. It took me quite a while to activate a Parks on the Air location from the African Burial Memorial. I was able to do a POTA activation from the battery, but Battery Park's like right on the water. It's really low, so that wasn't that big a deal. I did that on single sideband with QRP, which, no problem. There really isn't a good answer to this because of how attenuated your signals are because of the buildings. You could try a balcony clamp, like a clamp of some kind that would go on a balcony, and then use like a telescoping mast that you adjust for like 20 meters and higher. That might work for you, but I think you're going to be dealing with a lot of pain there. Oh, so they do not have a tuner, but they're using a 9-to-1. It is likely that your radio is not putting out the appropriate amount of power. I don't know how you're actually operating if you're using a 9-to-1 random wire and don't have a tuner. Which radio do you have? See, this is why I got to join the Discord. It's going to take too long. Right? I mean, unless you got really lucky, but then it's not random, because if you've got a resonant location where the antenna's happy, then it's not random. It's going to favor one band, and it's not going to work for others very well. But Adam's here. I'm sure he'll correct me. Is Adam still here? Oh, yeah, he's here. How's it going, Adam, by the way? Oh, maybe he's eating dinner. Yeah, you might need a counterpoise. You might need to add a counterpoise to your whole setup to get to make it effective with a 9-to-1. But getting the wire as high as you can in the air is going to be the biggest thing. Anybody have any thoughts on that? Your NYC portable DX station? Man, we got all these people here. Nobody wants to say anything. Go ahead.
I'd go ahead and pitch the ham sticks. I've had good experiences with those.
Ham sticks,
got to get the ground plane right.
Yeah, a lot of wire underneath you is always really helpful for for ham sticks. Aha. Okay, so we're getting. See, this is why joining the Discord's important, because we would have got this almost instantly. HN replies, yes, my radio kind of sucks. It's a hack RF1 with a ham it up amp plus up converter. Yeah, dude, that thing is not happy. Straight up. If you're trying to run a 9-to-1 unon with a so if you cut that wire as a random wire, so a non-resonant length of wire for any of the frequencies you want to operate on, which is exactly what you're supposed to do, then that thing is going to be showing like a 10-to-1 SWR every time you transmit. So you're not putting any power down the wire. You need a tuner to run a 9-to-1 appropriately. K6ARK is stuck in mute zone. He can't unmute. You'll get it, Adam. You'll get it. Yeah, hack RF also is susceptible to noise. I mean, it's an SDR for close in projects that you're working on. It's not necessarily the best HF radio, so it's lacking in filtering and some other things like that. It's a fun tool. Don't get me wrong, but it's probably not the best HF radio. You would probably do significantly better with just a G90, I think. That's my take, but yeah. Okie dokie. Oh, there's some those ZL stations, man. Come on. You're -2 to me. What's the problem here? Let's complete the contact.
High noise floors.
I guess so. In New Zealand? In New Zealand?
On there, yeah, in New Zealand. Rolly's got that problem. He's talked about it. Yeah, because he lives in an urban area, and they have the same problems we do in their urban areas. And I speak from experience because I've had guys in Australia that I've talked to that, complain about the same thing. So unless they're out in the country somewhere, which I mean, some of them are,
right? Then
they have neighbors that are killing them.
Oh, that's possible. They just got a lot of RFI from neighbors. Right. Sure. Yeah. This is a fun question. So Timothy Stinson asked, can you describe your CW journey? So my CW journey started years ago. I was a non-code ham. I didn't have to get code requirements when I got licensed. So basically, I fell into CW. God, when did I start trying to get better at CW? I don't even remember. But basically, for the longest time, my dream radio was the KX2 above my head. But truly, it was the little itty bitty like mountain topper radios, the little tiny guys. They're like super super small. There's something about just having a super tiny radio that I just absolutely love. But those are Morse code only. So what I started to do, I took a CW Ops class. The problem I had with CW Ops is that I have a career. I'm an engineer. I was a very busy engineer at the time, traveling all over the place, all over the country. And I had issue always making it to the classes. And they were on Skype at the time. So I'd have to like dash into my hotel room and get set up to be able to do it. And I used to pack like an oscillator with me, a whole 9 yards. And I was never able to complete even the first round of it because I was just always having trouble making classes. Like I just couldn't do it. Practicing wasn't so difficult. It was finding the time to be reserved and scheduled. My bot is owning the chat. So it's not my bot. Those are people on Discord that are talking. It's retransmitting it's taking Discord chats and posting them on the YouTube chat. That's why it says Discord and then has the name. That's the name from Discord. That's how we have to do it, bud. That's how it goes. Anyway, so that did not yield the results I wanted because I couldn't make the schedule work. So time went on, and basically I started listening to podcasts and using CW apps like Morse Toad. I think there are other apps now that do Morse code just fine for practicing. I learned the alphabet mainly via that process. Is just lots of practice with apps and that kind of stuff. So I learned the alphabet pretty quickly. That's actually not the hard part of Morse code. It's being able to just copy random call signs. To me, that's my problem. To just hear them and go, oh, yes, it was a K2OMP, that call sign, whatever. So I ended up hearing about Long Island CW. Oh, this is much later. I was listening in my car with HF radio, just trying to copy in my head. I'd sit down with pen and paper and copy. I ended up joining Long Island CW Club, and it was about a good 6 months or so where I was able to religiously attend the classes. The good thing about Long Island CW Club is that they have classes throughout the day, and you can hop into any class you want, so it doesn't matter what your schedule is. That helped significantly and moved me much further than I did before. And then I started just kind of focusing on learning or practicing call signs, like just those random characters, disjointed characters that you don't really know or expect. That led me to doing a SOTA activation, which I did with the KH1. I've since done, I think, mainly chasing. Parks on the air and summits on the air has been my most often way that I practice CW. So I'm not that far along, to be honest with you, but those are the things I'd recommend. Is Long Island CW Club would be my jam, and the YouTube videos. Morse Code Ninja it's Morse Code Ninja, right? His YouTube videos really good. He's got them in podcast form as well, and like the top 100 used words, do that, or just random call signs, really helpful as well. It's always copy. Always work on your copy. But I played instruments growing up, so keying CW is not as difficult as receiving. So that's me. Anybody else want to add their story? Their Morse code story?
I just added mine in the chat. So.
Oh. Don, you can talk it out. Go ahead.
Okay, sure. I passed 20. I've told y'all before.
Oh, okay.
When I got my extra class, I had to pass 20 words a minute.
Oh my goodness.
And I used it for 2 years, and I loved it. It was.
That's true. You have told us this, that you were actually very active as a CW user, and then you're kind of like, I stopped.
Well, no, we moved into a new location, and my wife said no HF antennas. And so up until she passed, I didn't have any HF antennas up. So I didn't get a chance. And truthfully, though, during the time that, I wasn't on HF, the repeaters used to run CW, and she and I both would sit there and try to, call out each letter as it was sent, and even to the /R. That's why the slash is so second nature to me anymore. But yeah, there were a few things I tried to do, but then after a while they got to voice announcements and all of that was gone. And then recently somebody was running a little snippet of CW practice with their podcast, but that went away sadly as well.
There's a lot of people who wanted us to get rid of that. They don't like the CW lounge. I don't understand. I just
don't listen to them.
Well, I seldom.
No,
I do. I listen. I take the feedback, but at the end of the day, I love Morse code. I think it's fantastic. So.
Yeah. By the way, I did notice something that it's one of my pet peeves, but I guess it was an old podcast that came up when I was listening. You were trying to get Leia to send, and she was doing. You gave her a paddle, and she was doing exactly what I knew would happen, where she would sit there and use one of them and just use it like a straight key. That's the reason that you give somebody who's new a straight key, because they don't need to learn two things at one time. Just the one. Just learn the characters, to send the characters with a straight key. The paddle, if you want to do it later. And I've never done a paddle.
That is exactly what the Long Island CW Club tells you. But for me, and this is probably the way my brain works, I'm always looking for shortcuts everywhere. And I knew that using a keyer and a paddle made my dits and daws perfect. So I didn't have to worry about hand keying them. And because I played a musical instrument, I was like, oh, it's 2 notes. I got 2 notes. That's all I got to work with. And it was easy. So much easier. Yeah.
I played tuba, so it's not like that. But no, I've never had a feel for a key. It just does not make sense to me. And I've even when I was back in the day, I never even thought about getting a paddle and a keyer because it seems clumsy to me. It's clumsy to get started, and I could already send it, close to 22 words a minute with a straight key. I still nearly can when I'm just doing, like, I've never forgotten how to send CQ, DE, N5, SKT,
right.
That kind of stuff. And I can do that just really rapid fire.
Sure.
But anything else I want to send, by the way, when you were running CW tonight, I was watching on the YouTube and seeing what you were sending, but my 101D was interpreting that perfectly.
Really?
And then the reason that I got that guy, the K2 EJT or whatever he was, the reason I got him was every time he would send, the 101D would just perfectly decode what he was sending.
Well,
and it was like y'all were just missing each other.
The reason why you copied it, your radio copied it so well, is because it was auto keyed by the sidecar. The sidecar was doing all the work, so it was like perfectly formed Morse code, perfectly timed.
On your
everything.
side,
yeah, by what I was transmitting.
Right, on your side, but when he was sending, I was interpreting him also perfectly. So I don't know what he was doing, but he had a really solid send.
Oh, that's really quick side note. Somebody asked, what did I play? Saxophone, harmonica, and drums. I still play the harmonica the most, but Leia doesn't like musical instruments. She's very anti-musical instruments for some reason. She hates when we practice anything in the house. My son, who plays trumpet, has to go in his room to practice. But yeah, I love the harmonica because you can pack it anywhere, and it's actually a very complicated instrument to play because there's both draw and blow notes. Harmonicas are awesome. Play the harmonica if you can.
Hold on, Josh. I got to interrupt for 30 seconds. You got Rolly on FT8?
Did I just get Rolly?
Yeah, ZL1BQD. He popped in the chat and said thanks for the contact.
Thank you, Rolly. I didn't even see you in the chat, buddy. Yes, there he is. Oh, I got it. Yes. Yes, I love it. I hope you're doing well, man. It's good to see you. Or it's good to make a contact with you and see you in chat. Appreciate you. Thanks for what you do.
Yeah.
Love it.
I got Rolly one time, and I was doing an FT8 contact. I got him, and then he came back and told me, hey, I was on a rare POTA.
Oh,
so
that's
I
cool.
Got on POTA. Yeah.
Question.
Question. Go ahead. Let's take a question.
You mentioned the sidecar. I missed the first or the initial live stream. I have a TH3 and the PX3. How does the PX3 compare to the sidecar? Maybe you answered that already, and I can look back, but
I didn't,
I
because
wonder if they
I
have
have
some similarities.
I have no experience with the PX3. Is that the PAN adapter?
It is, but it's also got a keyboard input where you can type into it. But honestly, I haven't used it in a little bit as well. So I was hoping maybe you had some real world, but all good. Thank you.
So what the sidecar does is it really is just displaying the KX2 decode capability onto the screen, and it has an internal logger as well as the ability to like preload a lot of stuff. So if you're doing like summits on the air, you can preload the distinction or I don't know, what am I thinking about? The identifier for the summit. You can preload that in there. It'll log inside the unit, so you just toot 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 log the contact and that's it. It's pretty easy. It's really decoding and logging. That's kind of its big points. It does other things too, but that's kind of like the big points of it. So the PAN adapter is like kind of a similar but different.
Yeah, I think the PAN adapter does display the incoming CW as well. And anyways, I'm going to research some more. Thank you for sharing that.
So I just got Samoa, which that's pretty cool. I seldom get them. I'm trying to get this Indonesian station, but they're not responding to me. And yes, I have my beam pointed to the west. I'll turn around to go to 20 meters here in a little bit, but 10 meters is so hot right now. 10 meters so hot right now. Had to get on that. So, all right, let's see. There's a question, random question. Oh, there it is. What? There it is. Got it. Random question. Do you think there would be any issue with installing an FT891 on a gas truck? Is there any way that the transmissions could ignite stray fuel vapors? No. Should not. But this is not legal advice. If you blow something up, you didn't... the ham radio crash course is not liable. Now, if it's a properly tuned antenna, like it's resonant, you're probably fine. I know some folks that are in trucks will use a so like if you have those rear view mirrors with the big angle, like that big bracket, they'll use a bracket mount that has the connection for putting a ham stick on, and you can use it that way. That's pretty much what a lot of folks do in trucks is they'll use ham sticks because it's so adaptable to the CB world. So a CB, like a Fire Stick CB bracket mount, you can put a ham stick on that, and then you just same coax, same everything, put the 891 on that. A lot of guys who are in trucks are like company trucks, so they can't run wires or anything like that. They'll just have like its own separate battery bank. They'll have the radio like sitting in the seat next to them, and they'll run radio that way. So it's its own self-contained little setup, and that's what they do.
Where is AE4MQ when you need him?
Yeah. Little Insulator's back with a banger question. What's a good starter handheld? What's your budget, bud? You got to tell us what your budget is. I can tell you what a starter is. A Baofeng's a starter radio, but if you got more scratch, I'd probably point you in some different directions. So, also depends on what you're going to do with it. If you just want to talk on repeaters or do simplex and stuff like that, then yeah, there's different options there too.
Oh man, you mean you're telling me I overdid it with my buddy who's got his ham license in November or something like that, or upgraded in November to general. His first handheld, FT5D.
I mean, that's a way to go. Yeah. Yeah, a used FT60 is always good. It's amazing to me how long the FT60 has been on the market. It's still a decent radio. I would recommend that you get the LiPo battery upgrade pack for it. Don't those NiCads kind of suck. The rechargeable NiCads are not great. Let's see.
If you really want to go down the rabbit hole, Yaesu VX7R.
Yeah. That does a lot of things. That's true.
I literally just picked one up.
Did you get the
I still
GPS
have mine after.
attachment?
Did I get what?
The VX7 is the one that has the GPS dongle thing, right?
No.
Am I thinking, is that the VX8? Which one is that?
That's the 8. The VX7 has 6 meters, but doesn't have 220. Absolutely beast of radio. I've had it for 18 years and I love it.
There you go. Right on. Let's see. The only issue I have with the FT70 is the battery life it's not great. I don't understand why that radio sucks the battery dry so fast.
If only somebody would make one of those replacement things like the FT3 and 5.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, $300 is the budget. Ooh. I like the VX6, to be honest with you, for $300. VX6, and you get some accessories to go along with it. You can get a better antenna. Yeah. Oh, UAP is coming in, possibly long path. Holy smokes. Because I'm not pointed at him. Yeah, HRO Superfest FT5. Wait a few weeks. That's not a bad idea. That's actually a banger idea. That's a really good idea. Yeah, $300. You could probably you're probably not going to get an FT5 for $300. It'll probably be like $350, but that's a good radio too. Let's see. Question. I have a 40-meter end-fed half-wave. What's the difference between using that on a non-resonant band with a tuner versus using a proper end-fed random wire with a tuner? That is a good question. Okay, so an end-fed half-wave is using the harmonics of different bands to be able to operate. So like 40 to 20, 40 to 15, 20 to 10, those even harmonics. The off frequencies, right? So in those cases, you're using the tuner to use those frequencies that are not resonant on that antenna. They're probably well outside the resonant spaces of the end fed. So they're probably not going to perform that well, right, for transmitting. The end-fed half-wave, though, so the end-fed half-wave is almost like the flip side of that. You're looking for a length of wire that is not resonant on any of the amateur radio bands. It's specifically the length of non-resonance. So if your off frequency falls into a resonance spot on that antenna, you will get some weirdness with the 9-to-1 unun, because now you don't need that transformation of impedance that the transformer is providing to get to the spot where that antenna is already resonant on. You could have just, put up a dipole at that point. Anyone want to add to that? Go for it.
Any of the, or versus any of those two, what about a proper Rybakov?
Sure. But he's asking about end-fed half-waves and
no, I know,
non-resident.
But I mean, between the Rybakov is a non-resident. The only difference is that rather than you running, say, something that is stretched out in a sloper, you're going 25 feet straight up. And it's a 4-to-1 with radials versus a 9-to-1 or a 49-to-1 with a counterpoise, because you should always be poisoned, right?
Yeah, that's a good point from Shellhopper. So basically, a 9-to-1 unun is a conversion of 9-to-1, and a 49-to-1, which is what you would use on an end-fed half-wave, is a conversion of 49-to-1. And so those are impedance match numbers for the conversion. And so if you had a resonant wire for your off frequency, but technically it was a non-resonant wire on the ham frequencies, you might need a different transformer to be able to function on those frequencies. So you'd have to know exactly what it was you were trying to do, and then be prepared to change your transformer.
I got a comment.
Go ahead, comment.
Is it possible to do a linked dipole, but instead of it being like different resonant bands, you can go from a resonant dipole to like a off center fed dipole?
I don't know why not, but then off-center fed dipoles are resonant. I think you mean like a non-resonant frequency?
Yeah, I guess I'm confusing like a random wire end fed with a counterpoise as a off center fed.
A random wire, so like if you had a random wire end fed, you could make a linked part of that wire that was non-resonant, but you would likely have to swap your transformers. You'd have to go from a 9-to-1 to a 49-to-1. Does that make sense?
I do find because I've got a.
Let him go.
Go ahead.
So could you put like a double pole, double throw switch and go from like a 9-to-1 to like straight through, and then go? You can have it to where you can pull 2 links, and it's a random wire with a counterpoise, and where it's off frequency, and then you can link it back up and then bypass the 9-to-1 and go to a dipole.
I guess you can. The problem is then you'd also need a coax switch, right? Because you're going to have 2 feed points.
No, you'd be switching it on the box. Because when you lower it to hook the links, you would just flip it to bypass.
But how are you? The transformers are built different.
Well,
right?
No, you're not transforming it. You would use a double pole, double throw switch, and you go from the 9-to-1 and just then bypass the 9-to-1. Just go straight to the wire.
Yeah, but you can't go straight to the wire if you're end feeding it with a resonant frequency. You need a 49-to-1 to bring the impedance down.
Not if it's a balanced. If you're going from a balanced dipole where you're bypassing the 9-to-1.
Okay.
And then you can flip it to the 9-to-1 and then go off center fed dipole.
You're changing the script on me. I thought we were talking end feds. So hold on. Are we talking end feds or are you talking dipoles?
He's talking both is what it sounds like.
It sounds like it. Yeah. So,
and I don't know how you do both because one has a wire at the sorry, go ahead.
It's just going to take too long. Let me just get to the point. So why are you doing this? What's the intent of doing this? So I understand. Just because you can, which is always a good answer, but why are you trying to do it?
That is mainly like I use 40 a lot, and then I would like to get as much as I can out of 40, and then if I want to do lower bands, I can just make it into a random wire end fed with a counterpoise, just by unlinking it and then flipping on the 9-to-1.
So you're saying you're going to have a 40-meter dipole, and one of the legs of the 40 meters is going to have a link that will be to a non-resonant frequency?
Well, it would have to be both. You would unlink and then just switch to a 9-to-1 in the box.
But a 9-to-1, but a balun?
Yeah, for when you're using it as a random wire end fed with a counterpoise. Like you turn the dipole into a random wire with a counterpoise.
But an end fed, hold on. Let me get my questions out of the way, and then I'll let people go. So a dipole is going to use a balun with 2 terminal ends and then the coax connection. That's a 1-to-1 balun. You're going to have a separate transformer inside the box. It's going to be a 9-to-1 with only 1 terminal connection. Because you're going to an end fed.
I'll have my 1-to-1 on the coax where the amp is.
But you still need 2 terminal leads for the dipole.
That I can bypass. If I'm flipping it in the box, why would I need 2 terminal leads?
Because it's a dipole. You have a dipole. You want a 40-meter dipole to get the most out of 40 meters. That's what you said, right?
Yeah, it'll be 40 meter length, full length on the ends.
But a dipole, 2 legs.
Yes.
Okay. So then you're going to have a switch in the box to go to a different transformer that would be a 9-to-1, which would cut off one of the legs of the dipole.
Well, I would have it linked on both ends. That way, the shield length, the shield end of the dipole would be my counterpoise, and then the actual random wire end would be linked also out of band.
But you got to feed it from the end, right?
Well, yeah, the end of the box.
No, an end fed is fed at the end of the wire. A dipole is fed in
random
the middle.
Wire end fed?
Oh, it's fed at the end of the wire, yeah.
For horizontal.
It's still an okay. I guess I don't understand it. I don't see it in my head, so you'd have to draw it out or try it and then come back and tell us. Mark, you want to add?
Yeah, I was going to comment that the gentleman might want to try simulating this before he commits any money into parts and whatnot.
Yeah.
Even the switch itself is going to be an antenna. That's all.
And I'll add to it. I'm thinking of the dually that Mike did a video on, what, a month or two ago? That might be something what he is talking about.
No, because you have to disconnect the 49-to-1 and go into the 9-to-1, and you have to disconnect the wire into the other wire. There's two. It's two transformers that are separated by a PCB. They're completely different. I have it too, the dually. I just haven't made a video yet.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll go with Rolly's answer. I'm sure you can do whatever it is you want. I just can't see it in my head. So go try it. Let us know how it goes. It sounds interesting though. I kind of like the idea of going from a dipole 40 into like a random wire and end fed on the higher bands. Sure, higher frequency bands. Go ahead, comment. Were you gonna add something? Oh, okay. I think they're gone.
Yeah, to you.
Sorry, it took me a minute to get my PTT to work. It would not work if he's using another leg of the dipole as his end fed for the random wire, because a random wire is not random at all. It has to be a length of wire that is not resonant on any of the bands. So the length for the 40-meter dipole, that one leg, it would be resonant on 40 meters, so it would not work as a random wire.
We're getting too in the weeds on this. He already said that it would be a linked wire. So he would disconnect a link that would take the 40 leg of the dipole to a non-resonant under 40 meter leg, right? So he's probably going to go pretty high. It would have to go pretty high frequency because he'd only be working with half of the 40 meter antenna, right? That's what I think that's where he was going. But where we got stuck was talking about the dual throw in the box. Buzzbox, how dare you? That's not true at all. The honest answer is I don't think we can visualize it in our heads what he's asking.
The correct answer is always it depends.
Yeah, well, it's sure, but you tell us how you did it because we're not seeing it.
Yep.
You know what's funny about that, Don? It depends. The guy I'm Elmering, he asked me a question, and before I even answer, he goes, I know. It depends, but what's the answer?
All right. Let's take a break in the action and say hi to our YouTube friends who are here. And I don't think Adam has got his mic sorted out yet, so we may have to do an IT session for Adam in a second.
It works.
Oh, you got it. You got it. What was the solution, Adam?
So on the Android app, when you're in the live, the voice chat thing, if you tap the screen, the buttons pop up from the bottom of the screen. But when I did that, none of the buttons actually showed up in the little gray box there except for the chat one. So I just started like tapping around randomly where I thought buttons maybe should be. And lo and behold, when I tapped on the right-hand side, the leave the chat hang up button appeared and it dropped me out of the chat. So I just kept clicking around until I found the right spots where the buttons were supposed to be. And after I clicked on them, they appeared on the screen.
Excellent. Good.
Yeah. All right. Good job, Discord.
All right, let's go top down. Bill, Ham Radio Tectonics is in the house. What's going on, man?
Hey guys, how you doing? Hey Josh, how are you? Thanks for the shout out. For anybody who doesn't know me, that's most of you probably. I'm Bill. Call sign Kilo Zero Whiskey Hotel Whiskey. YouTube channel Ham Radio Tectonics. Just dropped a video today. Working on some things around here. A truck and an overland ham trailer. But anyway, it's great to be here with you guys and listen and learn. And thanks a lot.
Right on, man. Appreciate you. All right. Let's see. Who is next on the list? I got to go back here. And thanks again. Frank's back, so this is a lot more smooth than it normally is.
Don't get used to it yet.
Yeah. Andrew, the broke ham is here. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. How are you guys doing?
I'm good. I hope everybody else is good too. What have you been up to?
Let's see. I got to do my first POTA activation. That was a ton of fun.
Okay. Where'd you activate from, and what'd you run? What was your rig?
Yeah. So I took my G90 to this. It's like a house-sized park. So it's William Howard Taft National Historic Site in Cincinnati.
Did it have a Taft-sized bathtub?
I didn't go inside. But yeah, there's basically the house, and then there's like the yard.
Right.
And so there's no park, there's nowhere to sit or nothing. So like it's literally just like crisscross applesauce in the middle of the field or the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a ton of fun. I was kind of rushed. I had a family member. There's a hospital across the street. I had a family member there. And I was like, I got a couple hours. I'm going to go across the street.
What commitment this man has. He's got a family member in the hospital. He's like, I got to get that. He's itching. He's like, I got to get that POTA. I got to get that POTA. It's across the street.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was great. It was a ton of fun. And then I just got, like I said before, I picked up a Yaesu VX7R. So I'm having fun playing with that.
I love it, dude. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us out here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. That's about all I got. So thanks.
A Taft-sized bathtub is Lake Michigan. That's funny, man. All right, Don, N5SKT, what have you been up to, dude?
Well, I'm still, like I said earlier, I should have gone and bought the shed today, but I didn't. So, because like I said, I really just wanted to go out and do a POTA. I haven't done one in months, so that's kind of what I did. But around the shack, I bought a radio a few weeks back that is a clone of the Hermes, not the Hermes Lite, even though he calls it a Hermes Lite. It is not. It's a Hermes. So it configures like an Onan 10E or just a straight Hermes quote. And I am currently working on that to build a cable out for for an amplifier I bought that's a copy of a Juno 100. Okay. And so I'm kind of doing that. But I like the next video. I kind of mentioned this the other day. The next video I'll do will be when we get the shack built and delivered, and I'm hoping to be able to film the delivery and install. When I got the additional electrical work done to charge the Tesla, I went ahead and got some extra circuits in there in the box, so I can have the electrician come and hook the shack up, and hopefully I can get 220 in the shack as well. So it'll be fully wired for 110, and then I'll just have a 160 on there. And then again, as I go through the build out of the actual shack, I'm hoping to record that. By the way, Tim did a good video on what he's doing, and I'm hoping that he shows some more things that he's doing, because I'd like to steal a few more ideas. So I really appreciate what he's doing. So that's kind of where I'm at. So I'm kind of in a pause right now as I start my new job and get all that stuff going, and then hopefully by the end of the month or a little later, I'll have that shack delivered and I can start doing some more videos.
I love it. There is a Saudi Arabia station on FT8 right now, everybody. So just on 20 meters. So I don't know if anybody hears that. Go for it if you can hear it. I hear him at a -12. No, sorry, -2. I'm gonna smash this guy. Hopefully, this is a big one. So hopefully we get it. All right, next is Frank is gonna catch us up on where's he been? What is going on? Frank, what's going on?
Hi, Josh. Good evening, everyone. Work. Unfortunately, that four-letter word still bothers some of us. Some of us aren't to the retired phase of life where we can just enjoy everything anytime we want. I was on, so for those who don't know, I work for a Class 1 railroad. I am a conductor, and we have what's called regular jobs and then extra board jobs. Extra board jobs is where you go when there's no room on the regular boards for you. Someone with higher seniority than me got me bumped off of the regular job that I had that afforded me my Thursday nights, Saturday nights, and every other Friday night to do live streams and be in the chat and all that. And it ruined everything. So I'm sitting here on the extra board. I go back to work tomorrow night after working 2 nights ago. And between that and life, there's just been no time for YouTube, no time for videos, no time for nothing. Nothing extra. That being said, though, I will at some point in the next hopefully 2 months, depending upon work, as I'm hoping to get back on a regular bid again. I'm going to have a video coming out of a guy that I'm helping, Sean, K06BJL. He's a guy here in town. He's in New Ham, if you couldn't tell by the call sign. And he's a general. And we took a trip to HRO in Sacramento, and I filmed his experience getting his first HF and VHF, UHF handheld, the FT5D. As I said, I overspent on him. He overspent. Right. So we'll go for that video sometime, hopefully before Thanksgiving, before Halloween, if I can even make it there. Yeah, notifications on phone. Yeah, Rolly, you're right. Work, a 4-letter word ending in K. Absolutely. But I'm hoping to get back on the bandwagon here shortly. I'm sorry I missed Huntsville. That was going to be my second big event this year. First one was Quartz Fest. But we'll see what happens next year. And I don't know if I'll be back next Saturday, so Josh, don't get too comfy with my list tonight.
All right.
If I'm around, I'll let you know. Right. But yeah, that's about it, and I'll drop my link if no one else has.
Excellent. Yeah, drop that sucker. Drop it like it's hot. Appreciate you out here, Frank. Thanks for making it. And yeah, I mean, work's work.
And one last thing. I'm with Andrew. You know, I wasn't across from the hospital. I was in no cell service in the middle of nowhere. I actually did a POTA today. I managed to do a POTA. I am now 19 contacts from making a kilo at this one park in under 10 months.
Wow. That's pretty awesome. Good job.
So there you go. That's all from me, Josh. Thank you.
All right, absolutely. Thanks for being out here. All right, next up is Tim, the Gray Man POTA. What have you been up to, dude?
Well, as Don alluded to, I'm building a building and was able to get the first video shot. The building's up, so they've been roughing in this week, and hopefully the electrical will be done here soon. So. And then it's, finishing drywall, stuff like that. So I'm hoping within a couple weeks I'll have myself a full-on freestanding office / YouTube / get the hell away from the kids place where they can't get in the doors. I'm going to lock them out. So that's what I've got going on. 3,000 subscriber giveaway. I've spilled the beans on that. So it's a... if anybody's heard me talking about that, it was it's something that was good for only the finest of penal institutions. So I'm going to be giving it.
It's a clear television or clear radio.
Well, actually, it's the 5.5 amp hour Denko battery in a clear wrapper.
Nice.
There's only a few of those in existence, and I own one, and I've got a second one that I bought from Dennis to give away for this thing. So. All that's available. I've got a video dropping Tuesday for our Tuesday night premiere group, which we'll go into further depth about how to get registered for it and everything.
Nice. All right. Well, excellent. I love that. Love hearing that. Thanks. All right. Next is Adam. Now that he's all loaded up with the capability to talk, what have you been up to, dude? You've been busy. I saw your post. Antennas back on the Amazon, right?
Yes, antenna kits are back in stock. I've sent in 50 of the 100-watt kits, and then a bunch of 20-watt male and female BNC and 5-watt or QRP male and female BNC. So those are back on Amazon, at least for now. And beyond that, I just sent out about a dozen KH1 pressure paddles today. I have been kind of selling those via word of mouth. So if you have a KH1 and you're interested in a pressure paddle for a KH1, send me an email, let me know, and we can figure out how to get one to you. Beyond that, other little projects. I just posted some pictures of a CFT1, the Jonathan's radio, the KM4 CFT. Mm-hmm. I kind of spruced up the case design a little bit and then designed a cover that protects the knobs and also provides a magnetic attachment to the base of the radio to tilt it up at probably a 20-25 degree angle for nicer operating, and it's got some rubber pads on it, and posted all those to printables. Those are accessible there.
Nice.
Also been designing some cool knobs for the QMX. I built a 40 through 10 meter QMX and have been enjoying that. And then I started construction on the QRP Labs 50 watt amp that goes with the QMX. And I'm trying to figure out how to add some multi-band functionality on that. So yeah, that's been fun. And then as far as getting outside, I've been in the local mountains the last couple of weekends. San Jacinto last weekend and San Gorgonio the weekend before. So getting some local backpacking in, which has been a lot of fun.
Nice. Excellent. Well, thank you. Appreciate you hanging out. Did you sell all of them already? Adam, everybody's saying they're sold out again.
It's certainly possible.
All right, we got Mark from Boondock Echo. Big month last month for Boondock Echo. How you been, man?
Tired, really tired. And remember, we've got a teenager in the home. I want to let all of the parents out there know about CASA, K-A-S-A. I think it's by TP-Link. You can put radio-controlled electric outlets on everything in the house. And for teenagers, turning electricity into a privilege, but not a right. They're fabulous. Oh. Anyhow, Boondock Echo's been doing great. We had the servers, the transcription servers set at a lower level, anticipating a huge influx. But now that we've seen when people are using it, we found out we can go to a higher transcription model, the Whisper Medium, for our default. And here's the cool part. The keyword searches are going to actually be, I really don't know how Casey's doing it, but they're going to get extra attention during the transcription process. So if you have things that get misunderstood, some letters, they sound like other letters, we can really focus in right on that. We've got that in the beta stage, and we'll start rolling that out probably in about 2 weeks. So, man, it is busy. Things are going, but we're having fun doing it.
Excellent. Yeah. I hopefully will get another video up on the new version that I've got my hands on, so that'll be fun. Excellent. Well, thanks for being out here.
Yeah, no, thanks for the opportunity, buddy.
Okay, Saudi Arabia looks like has gone radio quiet. Looks like they didn't hear me either, but people are still chatting with them. You can see that above my head. All those little blue dotted lines are people that are working them, but I don't think I'm making it to them. but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they just don't push the internet. Okay, so going back to the chat here, there's somebody who's very, very serious about their question. Do you have an original extendable Radio Shack antenna for sale? No, I'm not a scanner store. And then they immediately replied afterwards, please answer my questions. So there you go. I've answered your question. I don't sell scanner antennas. Does anybody have an original Radio Shack scanner antenna that they can sell this gentleman?
Not for sale, but I do have one. I actually have a question from my Elmering person, Josh.
From your Elmering person. Okay, let's take it.
Well, this is mostly directed at you, but anyone that has an FT5D that can answer it. Page 2 of the owner's manual states that the radio can receive 520 kilohertz to 1 gig on the A band. Does that seem correct? It seems well beyond the capabilities of the antenna, he asks.
It's well beyond the antenna. If you hook it up to an HF antenna, though, it works as a receiver. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know it had the full HF received like the other ones did.
And if you pull up my video that I did on an FT5, I did hook it up to a shortwave listening antenna, and we listened to shortwave stations on it. So yes, you can.
All right. I think he's watching.
It doesn't do single sideband.
Okay. I do want to give a special shout out to Bill H in the YouTube chat. He's a HRCC member, and I met him when we were at the HRO store getting Sean's radios.
Excellent. So if there was any curiosity on whether or not the bands are open right now, look above my head. Dude, 20 meters is flying. Oh, it's all dying off right now because I haven't transmitted in like a couple minutes. But, dude, 20 meters is awesome right now. If you're on 20 meters, dude, you're going to be hearing all kinds of signals. AJ6X, hang tight, dude. Hang tight. I'm trying to get some of this DX in the logs. I'll get you in there, though. All right. Let's see. Did I miss any others? Don't answer my question. Okay, Aaron, I won't. What is the chunky battery you recommend for the T-Deck? Okay, I'll pull this up because it makes me laugh every time I see it. So it is let me get the website up here. Where's my Amazon? Oh, by the way, if you wanted to know what that e-ink reader was, I have a link in the video description. It's a Boox Palma. So it is an 8 amp hour LiPo. God, Amazon. Why? 8 amp hour LiPo. No. Wait, what? Okay, hold on. It's the blister pack one. No, that's not what I want. I'm doing this wrong. Mesh-tastic. That's 10,000. Oh, is it 20,000? Am I wrong? I think it must be 20,000. You'd have to go back and look at my Mesh-tastic video. I have the link for it, but apparently I'm not finding it. Hold on, I'll have to pull up my. Oh, I just got Belarus. Excellent. All right, now I'll work some local comms. Now that I got some DX. Man, it's been a good day for radio, dude. With the QSOs, making the QSOs that we did earlier, and now getting some DX on the WSJTX, dude. It's been awesome. Love it. Let me pull up that battery on my Amazon. Anyway, let's just go open. Any questions anywhere or any comments from anyone? Let's just chat. What's been going on? What have you guys been up to? Anybody on the Discord?
Hey,
go for it.
I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller, and I was just wondering your recommendations for a mobile VHF UHF setup or radio for Aries communications or doing police, fire, EMS. I just did my first Aries meeting just last week, and I'm just wondering if you have any recommendations.
What frequencies do they operate on?
Sorry, I forgot to tell you. They were on 2 meter and 70 centimeter.
Oh, okay. How much you want to spend?
I'm willing to spend around If it's just VHF, UHF, probably nothing over $800.
Like all in though, right?
Just for probably $600 for radio, and then maybe a little more to play for $600 to $800. It's probably just for the radio.
Do you need digital modes? Do you need APRS? What do you need other than that?
Probably digital modes as well.
Oh, probably. Well, which digital modes?
You know which.
Give him a second. Let him answer the questions.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'll be honest.
So if you
don't know,
if you don't know, then I don't want to tell you which one, because usually the radios only operate in one digital voice mode. You see what I'm saying?
Got it. Okay. If I said D-Star, what would you say?
Well, then you get the 5100. So get yourself a ICOM 5100, and that's it. That's the only radio other than going with like a 7100. You could get a 7100 and do D-Star with it. And that's that's a 100 watt radio, and it also does HF. So you could do that too, but that is well over $800. It's like $1,200.
Or double your cost and go with a 9700.
Yeah, you could do that too. So probably 5100 is the answer. So if it was, so let's just go through the list. If it's Yaesu, Yaesu System Fusion, then it's probably going to be the FTM 500. That's the top end of their mobile line.
Or the FTM 3 or 200. Those are nice too.
I know. But it's
they're not a 500 exactly.
Yeah, they're not the 500. I think the 500 is a bit easier to use.
None of them are a 400 though.
None of them are a 400. That is
and
true.
Don is not wrong there.
But I like the speaker setup on the 500 a lot. The head unit having a speaker is very nice. It being mobile like that is, I like that a lot. The setup there is great. APRS is a little finicky, but that's just the way it is. If it was DMR, I'm the wrong guy to ask, because I don't really like DMR. I've decided I don't need to like DMR. I don't need to like all the things that much. That's okay. Yeah, there you go.
What is it that turns you off of DMR?
Too many people talking. What was the question again?
Sorry. What was it that turns you off of DMR?
I don't like programming them. I don't like messing with the programming. They feel like they're too throttled down. They don't do VFO as well oftentimes. Like, you can't just get in there and start working. So DMR Disser says Interstellar Starman. Not surprisingly, I've not hidden that information at all. I've been open about that. But yeah, I don't have any problem with you like it. You enjoy your radio, as Callum would tell you.
I appreciate you answering my question.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Josh, in defense of DMR, in defense of DMR, it was primarily built for commercial use.
Yeah.
And Hams took it and modified it. So that's why it's so kludgy to many people.
Well,
I'm a hoity-toity ham radio operator. I don't want any of your trucker radio technology in my vehicle. No, go ahead, Don.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Motorola
engineering for a living.
Lord.
Why would you want to do it at home too?
Don't talk over each other. Don was already talking. Don, go ahead, then James.
Making it that difficult to program in the first place, even if it was commercial. Because I've used commercial Motorola parts for a lot of things in telecom, and they don't do that kind of stuff for telecom. They only did it for first responders, which was a sin.
What was a sin? I think you cut out in the beginning there.
Oh, making it that difficult to program. There's no reason for that. They could have made it easier.
Sure.
They could have made it easier.
Yeah. It's overly complicated for like overly complicated sense, if that makes sense. Like, it's just complicated. They just make it complicated, and it doesn't have to be that way. But here we are. Anyway, okay, James, go ahead. What were you saying?
I was just saying that you do that at work and don't want to have to fool with that at home when it doesn't need to be that bad. I've had several people attempt to get me interested in DMR, and I'm like, Yaesu, I'm pretty happy with that. You dial it up and go.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I like to be challenged when I get home. I take up all these dumb radio projects because I like to rack my brain with complexities when I get home. So I don't. It's not the complexity of it really. It's just I don't enjoy using it. I don't like the way it functions. That's it. I guess it's yeah.
And I like my C4 FM, and because it will actually go through a repeater to your handset or handy talkie, and it'll actually tell you how far away from the person you are and all that stuff. It actually uses GPS off the radio to help coordinate.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
But at the same time, I got to be honest, like I just don't use digital voice that often. I just am an analog guy, and most of the time I'm just on 2-meter simplex. I'm chatting with all my dudes down here in Southern California on 2-meter simplex, and that's just how we roll. Like we have a great community for 2-meter simplex. We've got 146.580 for adventure frequencies. We do SOTA activations there, working contact. I'm working like, dude, I'm doing chasing sodas and stuff on the drive to work to and from. It's great. So I don't even use repeaters that much anymore. But, you know. Saudi Arabia's back taunting me. Jeez, man. Let's get this done. Go ahead, Don.
I was just going to say that I agree with you 100%. The only hotspot that I really want to have is All-Star. I'm just done with all of the digital modes, the digital voice modes like that. The only digital thing I want to do is like FT8 and WinLink and things like that that I don't have to listen to it do the digital side of it.
It's kind of a weird and this is not me saying your radio is not real radio. That's not my point. But if I have a hotspot and I'm using my radio to talk into a hotspot that tethers to my phone when I'm driving, why am I doing all that? Why am I doing all that? I just rather use the radio to talk to a repeater if I need it, or just talk radio to radio. I guess I'm old school that way.
I'm now 80 miles away from, or in fact more than that, from my old repeater and my old club, and I still like to talk to those guys, and they're on All-Star. So that's the only way I can get into those repeaters anymore.
Yeah, see, that's great. That's fantastic. You got a crew of people that you want to talk with, and that's how you do it. Awesome, love it. I'm never on the radio enough to like get cool with a repeater click. I'm just never doing it enough that I can be like, I got the time to talk to these guys on the repeater. That's just the reality of my life. Just too busy.
Yeah, and I get that because I know all the things that you and Leia and your whole family are involved in. But for me, I was like really involved in that club, and I really enjoy that club. And I need to get involved in the clubs down here, and they're actually reaching out to me. So I do intend to do it, but it is actually going to turn out that I can do events in both clubs up to a point.
Yeah.
I did field day this year with the club that it took me about an hour's drive to get up there to sit with them at field day all day. But I just enjoyed the hell of it.
Yeah. You put me in front of people that do radio, I'll have a blast. But if we're just like chit-chatting on the repeater, it's like, I don't know. I guess I listen to my audiobooks on tall English ships. Let's see. No, it's not the Distant Nets one. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Question. How well will a Comet GP3 or GP6 work in my attic? So the answer is middling to not at all. So if you have a radiant barrier, like a metallic radiant barrier on top of your roof, it will not radiate. Your antenna will not get through that. Your RF will not get through. Do not pass go. RF is dead. So if you have that, do not do that. It's like, don't even do that. But the question is like, you're so close to just being outside your home. You can't put up an eaves mount. You can't do that. Like, just do that. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Make your dreams.
Might be an HOA. Might be an HOA.
I'd still do it. I'd put it in the backyard or something. Hide it.
If you make it look like a vent on top of your house, like a PVC vent.
I have the longest vent ever. I mean, that's not really going to work either. Just hide it.
Have to be above the roof line, I believe. Some of them do.
Yeah, my vent is longer than yours. I don't know. It's just put it.
Is that one of those big 2 meter or 3 meter long?
Yeah, it's huge. They're like 5 to 10 feet. So I've been very impressed by this. I'll drop the link for this. I love this mount so much. Hold on, yeah, I got it. Okay, this thing rocks. Okay, and let me explain why. So the fascia board that is the eaves of your house actually can't withstand a lot of load. And if you think about what the fascia board is, it's nailed into the joist, the roof splines, and the splines are the vertical part, right, of the roof joist. It's just nailed in there. And if you put enough weight on that over time, it's going to start pulling the eaves fascia off the side of your roof. This, however, bolts into the joist, the spars. I'm using the wrong terms, I'm sure. There's a contractor that's screaming right now. But it bolts underneath the fascia, behind the fascia, and then it's a little U-shape, and then you bolt the antenna to that with the U-bolts. This thing rocks, and they're currently unavailable because I made a video about it, and everybody bought them, because this is a really, really good way to do this. Really good. And you get 4 lag bolts into a heavy joist. Oh, it's awesome. Awesome. You can put some serious weight on that. So there you go. There's my recommendation. And yes, I purchased this. Highly recommended for use. Totally not available. Let me see if there's an alternate product. These aren't bad. The problem is those go on the fascia. They're fascia mounts. It's not as good. It's not as solid. You need that J bracket thing. Look at this guy. It's Christmas. He got his antenna bracket. Look how happy this guy is. This guy has never been more happy because he got his J loop joist mount. There you go. It's like that. What an AI picture we have here. Anyway, there you go. That's a novel approach. That's what I would recommend. Okay. But yeah, just put it outside. Freaking Saudi Arabia. Can't get.
I mean, if that can hold a weather station up, that can hold up any antenna, of course.
Oh yeah, these big TV antennas. Yeah, there's no problem. No problem. All right, I'm going back to CQ. Oh, Romania. Wait, no, I'm gonna go for Romania. We're gonna try Romania here, and then we're gonna go back to calling CQ. All right, other questions. Let's take them. Go for it. Nobody's home in my pad, so I'm hanging out here until somebody starts screaming at me to go watch a movie or something like that.
Question.
Go ahead, question.
I was wondering about a good resource for POTA trails. The parks are well documented, but trying to figure out where the trails are and that sort of thing.
Oh,
curious what their thoughts are on that.
Like the PCT that goes through California, like that being a Parks on the Air kind of thing, or what do you mean?
Yeah, just like that. I'm actually over on the East Coast, and there's just a bunch of like Revolutionary War trails that go all up and down the East Coast, and those are POTA. There's some Civil War trails. There's waterway trails. Just a bunch of stuff. I was at what I thought was a twofer, and I bragged about it on one of the Discords. I said, that was actually there's 3 waterway trails that go right by that park. So if you were on the beach, that could have been a fiver.
So this is a really good question. Adam, are you still on mic? Because Adam is the trail whisperer from my point of view. You have a much better time figuring out the range of parks than I have ever had. What do you do?
Yeah, it can be quite a challenge. Really, your best bet is to identify the ones that are in a given area in general, and then look those up on each of their own individual websites. Or what I'll do sometimes is search for a GPX or a KML file for, along with the name of the park or the trail or the entity that I'm looking for. And oftentimes you can find, some kind of previously generated map resource that you can then download and then import into CalTopo or Gaia GPS or whatever mapping application you choose to use. Even Google Maps, you can create your own maps and upload KMLs and GPXs. But yeah, that's where I've had the most success for things like trails, is to to search for on the the entity's individual website and look for map information there, and then also just search the web in general for those other map files.
CalTopo and Gaia GPS. It's super excellent, Adam. CalTopo also has a checkbox where you can see public land, and on the top tier, it has GIS input as well that could help give some information. And then on the Gaia side, it has National Geographic maps overlaid into it. Like the Parkway, for example, is overlaid on top of it. I wanted to add that to it.
There you go.
And as long as you're within 100 feet of the trail and not blocking ease of use of the trail, you're within the activation zone too.
Okay. Yeah, they can make it a little difficult with Parks on the Air. I appreciate that.
Awesome, thanks, guys. Well, if you want difficult, I would check out the Worldwide Flora Fauna website. That website seems difficult. POTA
Yes,
certainly.
yes, it does. You're right.
And I'll have to find it, but there was a website that had had an actual mapping of a lot of the POTA parks. Let me see if I can try and find it.
You're not going to go for Morocco there, Josh?
I think I already have them in the log. I'm trying to get this. I still want this Saudi Arabia station.
Oh, that's okay. Rolly and Ghostman DK are teasing you. Apparently, they both got them.
They got the Saudi Arabia already?
Yeah.
Bro.
Well, I never count that if they're on the East Coast. If they're on the East Coast and they're working those stations, they got a way better chance of doing that than any of the rest of us do.
Rolly is so far west that he has become the East Coast.
Rolly, but anybody in the U.S.
So for the searching for park locations and trail boundaries and things like that, if you want to post an example of one or two in the chat, we can give it a try and see what we can dig up for you, just as an example.
There you go.
Yeah, let me go ahead and do that.
Comment.
Good comment.
As far as trails, there's an app called All Trails, hiking trails, and I just looked up one with a bunch of different parks all over the place, so that might be an option.
Word. There you go. Yeah. No, All Trails is good. Gaia is another one, but it's the park boundaries are sometimes curious. If it's a trail, then just got to be within, again, as Frank said, 100 feet of the trail. Oh, there we go. He's just dropped one. US 9757. Oh, come on. This guy's working -22s and he can't hear me. Man.
All right, so I just found it and I dropped the link in the live chat. And for those that aren't in live chat, it's potamap.us.
Yeah, that I have used that resource. That resource is really good. I'll have to double check, see how it does on trails, but yeah, it's great. It's certainly good for the parks. US 4581 was the one I did recently. That opened up my eyes to how big it was.
What was that website that you used to be? Well, in fact, I'm sure you still can. You could go to it, and you can tell what other people are hearing you at. It would come out as just a list: your call sign, their call sign, and what they're hearing you at on FT8.
You're not thinking a PSK reporter.
No, not that. Because PSK reporter, you have to go and highlight somebody, and then it'll print. No, this was a straight just list. It was a blue, kind of a bluish green screen. I can see it in my head. I just can't think of the website.
I did. I moved my transmit frequency and everything, and it's still not making it. I'll pause for a little bit. Maybe I'm just not on a good window. All right, so I'm going to take a break real fast. I'm going to go to the restroom, so I will be right back. And so I'm going to play some memes. You guys keep talking, and everybody in the chat, hang out. Okay? I'll be right back. Here we go.
Now, I have a question for y'all.
I'm going to play my song again, so there you go. Mute yourself if you're transmitting. And I'm back. Hello. Let me undeafen.
I was sort of just making the comparison of the two. That POTA just has a cleaner interface, and I think that is helpful in its success. I think the way they make it so easy to upload logs, search for parks, I think that's why they're doing so well.
Well, yeah, not only that, POTA is a lot newer than WWFF. So the web page itself, while it looks nice, it still screams late 1990s, early 2000s as far as I'm concerned. And Josh, the Spider's right. You had to have written the music for the Tim and Eric show.
It is Web 1.0. Worldwide phone and fauna page. You guys can hear me okay, right? Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, 5'9".
All right. Still no Saudi Arabia. Yeah, no, there's not a lot of. Oh, wait. I think I've got a window. We're going to. Maybe I'm just not making it through. Maybe I'm just not punching through.
So just to real quick close the loop on the trails searching, Adam, you posted a map trail that shows a huge system, and that is obviously a good one to know because it covers such a large area. What I'm having trouble doing is saying, okay, well, I'm at this location, which trails, sort of, it's coming at it from the other angle of, I'm at this location, how many trails go through here? Whereas if you know the trail, then you know to look at the local, the specific website for that trail, and then you can see how much it covers, but that's coming at it from the other angle. But it's good research.
Yeah, it is tricky through the POTA site to figure out which ones of those go through your area. So, I fully understand and appreciate that, and I don't know that there's an easy way to do that other than searching if you already know which ones may be in your area to plot those on a map and see where they overlap. So yeah, I see the problem you're encountering, and I don't think there is a good solution to that one until someone amasses a data set that has all the the lines and boundaries for each POTA entity and compiles them into the POTA website. That's a big project.
For sure. Thanks guys.
Hey, everybody watching, if you're still hanging out and you haven't done it yet, go check out hamtactical.coffee, our Coffee of the Month club. We'd appreciate the support. But if you drink coffee, give it a shot. You might find something that you haven't tasted before and maybe become your favorite coffee ever. And it comes with a sticker, a reusable sticker. So, yeah, there you go. Cool. All right, do we have any questions on the Discord chat? Did we get through all of our newcomers, first-timers questions? We'd love to take them as kind of a semi-last round because the wheels start coming off at this point.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, go for it.
So, always on your screen, your FT8 screen, I am jealous of the contrast you get on the bars, because what I see is like just a little tiny bit of yellow unless something's really, really strong near me. And so what that does is, like, when I'm trying to pick a frequency to operate on, a lot of times I'll be operating on it, and then I look just a little bit harder, and I can see that underneath there's some kind of blue that's going over the blue background that's coming down over it, and I cannot tell that that's actually there. But obviously somebody, way off that I'm barely hearing is using that particular channel, and I just can't see him on that waterfall because of the contrast.
Okay.
Or the colors or whatever. So do you have any hints for setting those colors up?
I don't know that I did anything specific. I mean, you can see my settings at the bottom of the screen. I'm using Bin's Pixel 2. Nothing really, I think, that's outstandingly different. If anything, I think that my settings are pretty stock.
Yeah, I thought mine were too. And even with that, I mean, like I said, a lot of it is like there's some yellow that's coming in there, which is like a S12 and above. And then there's, the ones that are in the positives that are red, but then there are a lot of them that are blue on that blue background. And I'm telling you, they're there and transmitting, but you're not seeing them. So when you're going and looking for someplace to transmit, a lot of times I'll go right on top of them because I flat can't see them. I'm not seeing them that well.
So Don, you'll want to talk to Snow Cones. He has helped me get my review really cleaned up, and I see him here in the voice chat, but I don't know if he's on mic or not.
Well,
but you want to talk to him about getting that set up.
Yeah, Frank, what you need to do is you need to go to Snow Cones and get one of his doublets. Highly recommended.
There's one other person who would recommend it too. He's muted right now. I see one K8 MRD Lord Mike in the chat now.
What?
Oh, Mike's here?
Yeah, he snuck in.
Oh, because
I was trying to just lurk here, but thanks for spoiling the surprise. I was going to ask if the frequency is in use.
You're just in time for the wild.
Yeah. Mike, I'm going to be in Houston Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
I'm sorry.
I know. And I'll be pretty close to the damn park, too.
I just drove through Houston. 8:30 at night I drove through there, and it's still a traffic jam.
Yeah, I know. I'm not looking forward to it, but we have to go there to talk to some people about our project. One of the other contractors that just happens to sit right on top of NASA.
Oh, you gotta go talk to a guy about a thing.
Yep. I don't know what I can say about now. I know our like the head of Bell Labs is who I was reporting to. He was on CNN the other night talking about what we're going to do. So,
okay.
But what I can say and what I can't, I don't know.
Well, Mike, what's going on, man? How you been?
Man, I have been well. I've been busy playing POTAs on Saturdays, so I've been missing the streams lately, but just did a 4-park rove today. I think 3 of the parks I'd never activated before, so that was really fun.
Nice.
We're out east of Houston, and it's just that's like where all the oil fields and stuff are, but it's still beautiful swampy marshland and nature preserves and stuff too, so it's pretty cool.
How many alligators did you see?
0. I don't think there's many alligators down there. That's more saltwater.
So near Beaumont, Port Arthur, or not?
Where the hell were we? We were out in the middle of nowhere. I can't remember, but kind of in that area, yeah.
Yeah, Beaumont, Port Arthur. You get anywhere close to that, and you can taste the oil in the air.
Yeah, delicious. But yeah, so a guy emailed me, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. We ended up doing a POTA last week at Huntsville because he was driving through here, and he lives in that area. And he texted me back. He texted me and was like, "We should go on a rove this Saturday." I'm like, "Okay." So we did. It was great, and it sucked because he's a technician and he's got a G90, and he made a fantastic 20 meter linked end-fed half wave, so he's got 20 and 10, and it's great. And 10 meter FT8 was absolutely on fire today, but it was so long. He was struggling. I mean, it took him like an hour to activate at one of the parks, and the 4th park he didn't even get 10 in the hour we were there before the new Zulu day. So
oh wow,
it's kind of weird. But I mean, the waterfall was just full. I mean, it looked not quite as full as yours is right now, but had a lot of fun. And that bastard cost me $1,000 so far. So
what happened?
So last week he pulls out, he sees that I'm carrying, and he asked about it, and we talk about it. He's carrying a Glock 43X MOS, and he took it out of his holster and showed it to me. I'm like, damn it, I need one of those. So we went to the gun store. We went to the gun store and I bought one. And then you got to buy a holster, and then I got a red dot for it, and a new trigger, and a new slide release, and a new spring that's supposed to make the action lighter. So, or the trigger rather. So, but I'm happy for it. I'm happy.
And when are you doing the video on it?
Oh, I'm not doing a video on that.
Oh yeah,
I know.
Definitely make a video on that.
I love guns. I love talking guns, but I don't need to be flaunting what I have and how many I have on YouTube. So,
well, it's not even that. It's that they'll demonetize you in a heartbeat.
No.
I've
maybe
seen
for
it
gun
happen.
videos, putting them together. I don't know. I don't do gun videos, but they came down pretty hard lately on some of the gun channels. So
Hickok got demonetized. If Hickok's getting demonetized, if they're coming for GunTube's grandpa, then they're coming for everybody.
Yeah. But it doesn't pertain to me, so I've never looked into what the guidelines are. But
I'll say this, since I'm going to forget if I don't say it. Rest in peace, Paul Harrell. Shout out to.
Oh yeah, I just saw that. I never really watched his channel, but I just saw that video.
Paul
Yeah,
Harrell. I loved his videos. He was so down to earth. Just taught so many people so many amazing things about firearms. And dude, respect to Paul, dude.
Yeah,
Ooh,
and it was,
that was hard.
pancreatic cancer, wasn't it? That's like the worst kind of cancer ever to get. My friend's dad died of that.
He fell off fast, which is just
that's how it goes.
Yeah, so sad.
Yeah, my favorite Paul Harrell thing was the snubby FBI draw to a squat in his previews.
Man.
You know what I'm talking about.
I'll also go ahead.
Sorry. So I was just looking at Mike's spots today. Battleship, Texas, San Jac, Battleground. Yeah, you were all over the place today.
San Jacinto.
Yeah, we just call it San Jac.
No, we don't. Shut up, California boy.
We have a San Jacinto. We have a San Jacinto. We call it San Jacinto.
Okay, that must be a railroad thing, because that's the San Jac local down out of SoCal.
Different hobby.
Candy cane, Candy Cane Wildlife Management Area?
No, you got to say the word after candy cane. It's like candy cane.
Candy cane
Oh,
lane.
it just
Amaranth
says
or something?
Candy Cane Wildlife Management.
No,
Pretty
there's
sure it's
another
candy
word
cane
after
lane.
candy cane.
Yeah, Candy Cane Lane. That's it.
No, we turned in off a candy cane lane.
Right. Okay. Good. Yeah. Yeah. It's right next
Yeah.
to
And then
Gingerbread House Way.
But yeah, it was cool because we got to, at that candy cane park, we got to sit, like, it's so polluted out there, but it was still pretty because like all the oil refineries are out there in the bay. But we parked at the end of the street, and then you climb down a couple rocks and you're on the beach, air quotes, the beach. But I brought a folding table with us, and we set up. I actually filmed a video at that place, so I'll have that out probably Wednesday. So that should be fun. But I got
Abshire?
The what?
Candy Cane Abshire? I had to actually look it up.
Abshire, yeah. Candy Cane Abshire Wildlife Management Area or something like that is the name.
Yeah, right across from League City.
Yeah, it's a big one, but I was looking at the stats as we were driving in there, and I saw that like the second activator in QSO's only had 136. So I'm like, I gotta roll in there and make at least 137, and I got 142, but one of them was a dupe, so I got 141. So for the next few days, I'll probably be number 2. Oh, I am. I already uploaded my log. I'm number 2 at that park. So that was fun.
Very good.
Yep.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. Now I'm getting frustrated by this guy. All right. Hold on. I have to embiggen myself because I'm getting angry. Where is it? Okay. If you're watching me right now, VA3WEZ, I've replied to you like 10 times. If you can't hear me, stop calling. I hear you fine, but you were not replying to me, dude. It's okay. Let it go. He just constantly is replying. I'm going to add you to my
Thank you.
do not disturb line. If you come on, dude. Jesus.
Thank you, Josh. 3 times. If you can't make contact with somebody 3 times, drop it. Move on.
Let it go.
It's not that big of a deal.
That's it, man. 3 and out. 3 and out. That's what I do. And good to talk to you again, Tim.
If you can't make it, let it go. It's okay. Let it go.
Yeah, Mike, you're 5'9" here in Indiana tonight.
Yeah, good job. Yeah, apparently Tim's killing it.
Roger that, 5'9" Texas.
You know what's funny? Very last 2 first station I worked today at my POTA was Ohio. It was like a 2-1, and they were hearing me like 5'9". I'm like, how is the magic of bands amaze me. And that was 20 meters.
10 meters was amazing today. I picked like the best possible day to do a QSO party on. It was crazy popping. Dude, it was so many contacts. I've never had a pile up that big before. It was awesome. That was so much fun. It was actually though crazy on 17 on the last band that we were on. That pile up was so loud, and I didn't want to start breaking it down by sections because I do actually want to get better at being able to decipher calls like that. That was
don't
hard.
be that guy.
That was hard, dude. That was hard.
Hey, Josh, thanks for that.
What's that?
For that contact on 17 meters.
Yeah, dude, that was awesome, man. That was crazy.
I've got to tell you the rest of the story. So you started making contacts, and I started out there with a 17-foot whip, and I'm out there with my Nano VNA tuning the antenna on each band as she kept moving, but I wasn't fast enough to catch you.
Okay.
And I finally caught you at 17. So
nice.
It was funny.
Nice.
And then Mark Kennard, the guy from Cubic Squads, he and I were texting back and forth. It was funny.
That's
he
funny.
might be on the chat. I don't know, but yeah, we were ribbing each other.
Dude, I've never had a pile up that big before in my life. That was wild. Not even the best POTA antenna with a 100-watt radio if I had a pile up like that.
That sounded like a POTA, straight up POTA, like right after the change of the UTC day, and it was just like off the charts.
I don't know. It was deeper than that. I couldn't even hear. Like it just became a cacophony of noise on my it was wild. But yeah, dude, that's the high solar cycle right there. Keep it to the high bands, and you guys are gonna you'll clean up. 10 was great. 10, those DX stations out on 10. There was all kinds of stuff going on 10. It was awesome. Awesome.
Comment.
Yeah, go ahead, comment.
Yeah, I was the one on 12, and you kept saying the first 3 of my call sign. I kept saying last two, and I guess you heard Alaska, and you turned your step towards Alaska.
Don't do that.
I should have said suffix. That's a lesson learned.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
just if I say the first 3 and I was right, just come back with just give me the whole thing again. Because if you come back and you give the last 3, I might think you're some guy trying to jump the line. Right?
Right,
so,
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So just give it again until I get it right. It's fine. It's okay. I'd prefer having you give the call sign straight up that I can copy it and be like, got it. It was my bad. Got it in the log. Or like if I got the prefix right and then I'm just asking for the suffix, like I'm asking for it, then just give me the suffix. Otherwise, just give me the whole call again. It's fine.
And that's also a good protocol for POTA too.
Yeah. And also the hope is that like if I get 1 or 2 characters accurate, then the people that are going to come back, it's going to be a much smaller set, and I'll be able to pull out, 1 of you, and then we'll just go through the rest of you real fast, and then we'll move on to the next set. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. If you make me think in a pile up, I guarantee I'll screw it up. Every time.
Unless you have like 5 or 6 Whiskey 5s calling you and you go, the Whiskey 5 station?
Right. Which happened. We had a couple of them where I had like 2 characters, and then we got like 5 stations back, so we just worked through those 5 stations, which working 5 stations is not a problem. It's when you got like, I don't even know how many people were responding, but it was a lot. It was crazy. Yeah, what is
Hey Josh.
Hey Mike, what's up, bud?
I actually have a question.
Okay.
And since there's 240 some odd people watching, this would be a good time to ask this question.
Okay.
When, good sir, are we going to see the rest of that ham radio video game that kind of just fell off the face of the earth from you there?
Nobody watches it, man. I think right now the after chat has more people watching it than nobody watched that video. Nobody watched that game.
You had like at least 100 people watching.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna. I probably won't do that for a while. I'll if anything. So, see, here's the thing with that game is it turns into a now jumping around back and forth between those sites over and over again until you start unlocking. And the problem,
you've been playing it without us
a little bit. The problem too is that as you saw, one of the things that I had to unlock was like up in the right-hand corner that is almost not visible, and I had to shoot it, and then the thing like did the switch thing that it was supposed to do. It's like, that's like back when you started playing Nintendo and you had to use the Nintendo magazine to like figure out some stupid secret thing that there's no way anyone would have figured out anywhere. You had to call the Game Pro hotline. Like that's what it started feeling like. Nintendo Power. Yeah. You had to call the Nintendo Power hotline to like figure out where to get the magic flute or some BS. And it's like, bros, I'm not trying to like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that live. That's crazy. I'll build a radio kit live, but I'm not trying to figure out some esoteric pixel I have to shoot at.
Have everybody judge your building skills, but you won't play a video game. That's fine. I understand.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it, and I know a lot of other people did. So I just thought, I oddly enough thought of this while I was in the shower when I got home.
All right. Maybe we'll go back to it. Maybe we'll go back.
Mike, don't feel bad. I asked him the same question a couple months ago.
Okay, it has been a few months.
Oh yeah, easily like 3 months or more. It's a good game, by the way. Full Quiet is probably one of the best Nintendo games I've played in ever. If you like a hard Metroid game, go check out Full Quiet. It's good. It's really good.
Well, maybe I'll watch one of those walkthroughs, and I'm curious to see how it ends. And now that we know we can't rely on you for that.
I should have said if you like a hard Mega Man game, not Metroid. It's not really like Metroid. It's more like Mega Man. Then check it out. It's good. It's really good. Metroid is hard, but it's not as hard as Mega Man. Mega Man is way harder, from my point of view.
I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead. Question. Oh, we lost him. Oh, he's back. Shadow Warriors, are you there?
I'm studying for my general right now. Do you know by chance, not being pokey, but are you going to do your video on the overview?
Yes, I am. Thank you for asking. Thank you for the plug. Check's in the mail. So I have been working with hamstudy.org to do something I needed to make the videos more efficient in their creation, and they have the feature working right now. So yes, I am going to start that at some point soon, and I can't put it off any longer. But yes, thank you for asking. I mean that too, by the way. If you do get this antenna thing going, I want to see it.
Yeah, I'll do some research tonight and I'll get it figured out what I need.
Right on, right on. Advance to the next. So K5CWR, advance to the next one. Click the little bubble to give me the RR73 or whatever, or 73, blah, blah, blah. Because I'm giving you the -4, so just click on the reply and it should advance it. I think that's just go down the list. Click the next button. Because I got it. If you got it and I got it, we got it. Dex Deadly, man, I don't know what bands you're on, but the bands have been amazing. Radio conditions are like through the roof right now. They're so good. They're so good. Like I'm actually curious if I switch to 10 right now, if there's still people on FT8. There might still be people on FT8 on 10 meters. With how far I'm getting on 40, I would not be surprised. So things are good. Things are real good.
That's why I was so weirded out with my POTA today.
He got it. See, that was it. He just had to advance it. Got it, guys. Good job. We did it. Yeah, how many contacts did you make, Don?
Well, 16 in about 20 minutes, but that's all. And they were all park to parks. But like I said, everybody I worked, nobody was moving my needle. Nobody. And there were a couple of guys I know that were running like big. And by the way, there was Route 66s in full swing.
Yeah.
There were a few guys that were running power that, having long rag chews. Yeah, those guys were S9 plus, but none of the POTA stations that I was working were showing did not move my needle at all. And so that's why I was like, well, where are the good band conditions? Now, what I did see was that there were a lot of European stations. So it may well have been that the band was just really long, but I don't know what was going on. Because Mike was saying today he's got 136 contacts. He's really not all that far from me. And that was not what I was hearing. I could barely hear the guys that were running POTAs. There was a guy in Indiana that he sounded loud, but and I could hear him well, but when I went back to him, he couldn't. He had trouble pulling me out, and the only reason he even probably responded to me is I said park to park, and then like I said, even though he had good, or his audio was good, there was no S meter movement at all.
Yeah, I kind of had the same thing today, Don. There was a lot of stations that were really, really weak, even though I'm seeing all these huge stations or signals like next to me on the waterfall. But the last park we were at, I got on the air like right at 7 o'clock, right at the new Zulu day. And I got 41 contacts in 17 minutes.
Oh,
it was just insane.
Was that because you were on the Gulf?
No, we were fairly inland at that park. I mean, we were still probably within 10 or 15 miles from the bay, but no, not really anything to do with like saltwater effect or anything. It was just new Zulu day and late shift, and they just came, man. It was you can't really work, I don't think, physically any more stations than that. It was just mad. But yeah, there were times where I mean, I would have lulls when we were on the beach, and I got to a point where I finally, after like 100 contacts, I recorded the CQ and just played it back, and then I had to call a few times and then get one or two people, and because I was trying to get 137. That was my goal. But yeah, the first couple parks in the morning, lickety split. So, but yeah, the bands were definitely long today for sure. Especially 10 meters. But yeah, I was getting all East Coast, West Coast, up to Connecticut, Nebraska, California, Oregon. I don't think I got Alaska. I got Paul up in Alaska. I got England on 10-meter sideband. That was awesome.
Were you running the Pactena or? No,
we were using the antenna he made. He made an NFET half wave.
Nice.
I mean, same thing, same similar sized toroid, and he had that silicone wire on it. But yeah, he did a great job making it. It worked fantastic. So that's my
Mike, was that M8 Charlie at all? Mike 8 Charlie?
Yeah, Mike Charlie portable.
Yeah, I worked him 15 meters today from my park.
Nice. That's a haul. So, all right, kids. Well, I got to get out of here. I haven't eaten since like noon, so I got to find some dinner and go to bed because I'm tired as hell.
All right, take it easy, man.
But I just wanted to stop by and say hi, Mike. And hope you're all doing well. And
thank you.
KMRD is QRT 73, y'all.
QRT
73.
Let's take it easy. Here's an
you
interesting.
Literally hit that in button.
Here's an interesting comment. James made this, so this might be an interesting one to talk about. So James, maybe you can add some more thoughts to it. I know Hayden made a video about this, that all the people that just stick to digital, that upsets Hayden. Sounds like it might upset James too. I don't have any problem with this. So I'm kind of curious.
Oh.
Does this actually bother people? Like, are they actually bothered by it, that people are sticking to FT8 and not doing single sideband in the high side?
You should read my reply to Hayden.
Like right now,
and I'll be glad to.
Yeah, why don't you just tell me?
But I'll be glad to go over it again.
Yeah, go for it.
The reason that we see so many people still on FT8 is because of the same reason. I mean, you and I both, Josh, are experiencing it. When you get on the air and you turn that radio on and you hear all that S9 noise, what else are you going to do?
Yep.
And that's basically what I told Hayden. There's still, we're getting more and more and more noise in the urban environments. And a lot of people live in those urban environments. They want to do radio, and they're running, a lot of them are in HOAs, et cetera, and FT8 is still the best way to make communication in those situations, and I think that's what a lot of people are faced with.
Not only are you right
CW
there,
is just about as capable.
Oh, sure it is. I totally agree with that.
That's true. I can't take anything away from Adam's comment, that's for sure. But
no.
But also keep in mind that, like, everybody wants to push the envelope of how long they can make a contact, right? So the fact that FT8, even in a bad situation, you're able to make more and longer contacts, people want to do that. They want to push the envelope of how effective and how good their antenna system is. So that also is why I think it's so popular. But, this also goes back to something I said on the podcast last night, that people are kind of busy now. And I'm not saying they weren't busy in the past. I'm not saying that. But take me, for instance. If I just cloistered myself off and was just working QSOs, like voice QSOs, my wife would come and grab me and yank me out of the shack because I got to go do homework with the kids. I got to do a bunch of other stuff. Now, that's not saying that I'm, like, doing automated FT8 or anything like that. But I can definitely have a tablet with me. And I do this remote into my radio, and I can help my kid with homework while my iPad Mini is running, the SDR software for my 7610, and I can work radio. I can't actively help my kid and also do FT8 at the same time, or voice at the same time. But FT8, sure, I can absolutely do that. So it's like we're utilizing the technologies to still do ham radio. I don't think anyone pretends to think that making a contact on voice or CW is like less than FT8. FT8 is a lesser of the three, for sure, no question. I have much more rewarding time in front of the radio when I can sit down and do that. But at the same time, I don't have that. I just don't have that time. That's just the reality of it. Well, Ted, I know that you're being slightly facetious with your comment, Ted, but where is it? This is actually an interesting point. Where is it? Come on, pop up here. There we go. We also have a new generation of hams that can't even call each other or leave a voicemail with a friend. How do we expect them to pick a microphone up and talk to a stranger? I know that's kind of a joke, but I have become that person. I don't call people. I don't want to talk to people on the phone. Just text me. Text me first, and we'll talk. I am the person that will text someone and say, like, hey, can I call you right now? Like at work. I will do that because, like, it almost feels like you're intruding on somebody's private time now if you just call them. Like I text people. I'm like, hey, can you take a call? Is it okay? And I think that's the future. Like I think that's straight up the future. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Well, Josh, the whole point was not to throw shade at FT8, but when I do have a chance to play SSB and I know that the bands are up and I go to a POTA and I try, sometimes the bands aren't up, sometimes they won't support it. Mm-hmm. But, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to throw shade, but like tonight, you're playing radio. That was my excuse. I've got COVID. I'm at home. My daughter's got COVID. So I had to go to my truck. I'm just kidding. But that's where I had a radio that would work.
Yeah.
To play radio. And that was my excuse to get out of the house and get some fresh air and stuff like that. And that's my only point is I could sit inside in front of a radio and press the computer buttons or... Yeah. In my case, it was my excuse to go to my pickup truck and throw a different antenna on and play.
So you're saying we just need to get COVID and then we can do voice a little bit because we have a little bit more free time.
Well, like Josh, I put an antenna on top of my truck so that I could play radio while I have COVID, but I wasn't driving.
Well, you did it wrong, bud. You got to drive across the country when you have COVID. Everybody knows that. That's the rule.
Well, I was already in the middle of the country.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That works. I do have to say, I did go back. I seldom watch my videos. Like, I go back and watch I never do that because, like, why? I did it. It's, done. Sometimes for the kids, like, there's some of the vlogs that I'll pull up. But the COVID video of driving across country with COVID was crazy. It's totally crazy. And I watched it. I was like, holy crap. Yeah, I remember. That sucked. That sucked bad. That was really shitty. That was
after the last 2 days of me dealing with stuff here around the house that was way above what I should have been dealing with as a COVID patient. I don't even know how you made it across the country and remember it if you didn't video it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I was definitely cogent enough. I had a very light bout of it, so I didn't have a big deal. But yeah, I was safe to drive. Let me repeat. I was totally in control at no time. I slept like 12 hours plus every time. But that was wild, dude. That was a wild time. I can't necessarily recommend that for most people, but hey, you got to do what you got to do. I think now people just fly with COVID. Nobody cares anymore.
Yeah, now it's down to a 3-day flu, basically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Antarctica is on FT8 and properly on FT8. Mm-hmm. So, like, okay, they're actually replying. Snow cones, you made a contact with them. VK0DS. I can't
Which
hear them yet.
station is that?
I don't know.
Because I worked when I worked them, I worked DT8A, which was the Japanese station.
Nice.
And then I've worked one of the other ones as well. And then when I worked DT8A, the Japanese were all over the place. But I got them over Gray Line when the Japanese were not hearing it.
Oh, he's on 10 and 12. Oh, he's on 10. Whoa, I just popped. Wow. Poland, dude. Poland was no joke. Poland replied instantly to my call. Wow, that was fast.
Yeah, the bands are long, really.
They're really long. I'm actually thinking about hopping over to 10 to see if I can hear that Antarctic station, because I don't have Antarctica, and I would like to have that.
Well,
yeah, you need to do that.
Yeah, the fact that 10 is open this late, but I mean, again, when in the 90s, I would work VK stations on voice overnight on 10 because it was just so damned easy. So we're getting there.
Oh, there is some signals. I'm seeing some signals. Point almost west. Really? Oh, so it's on the far side. Dude, Australia's coming in. I'm not even pointing the beam at them on 10 meters right now. Holy smokes. My waterfall just completely died. All right, I got to have to point. We're turning. We're turning. We're rotating. I should add a camera. Oh, I could pull up my I could do that. That'd be funny. I wonder if my net cam is still working on the roof.
Yeah, it's funny here in Texas, around from about 5 to 6 a.m. whenever the sun comes up until around 11, Europe just bangs in here.
Yeah. All right, we're pointing kind of west.
Drop the Antarctica call sign into PSK reporter. Not a typical view.
Is he actually hitting California? A lot of EKs.
I see him at a negative 11 into California.
Oh, that's workable. Oh, come on. Let's do this. I got that Samoa. Wait, is that a different Samoa station? I thought I already had them.
If it helps you, Josh, he's minus 12 over at N6RV station on the coast.
Bro. I got to see him. I got to see him before I'm not, you got to wait till you see the station. That's the thing, guys. Remember, that's the rule with this. You got to wait until you can see the station, and then you try and get them. Uh-oh. People are home.
And a minus 14 down there in Mission Viejo.
Oh, come on. Chloe, go inside. Hold on, I got to close the door.
Y'all still have light there?
No, we haven't had light for an hour or so now.
Oh, okay. Then I may go fire up my station. I turned it off after.
See him. Yeah, I'm not getting him. You're saying you're pointing due like west? He's on 1330.
1130.
1130. 1130. Why? Come on, bro. Learn how to FT8.
He's pointed 240 degrees.
Interesting.
What I love is Matt's in here in the chat, but he's also in voice. He could just key up and say all this.
Yeah, I could. Whatever.
So, how do you guys set up your antennas to know where they are on that great circle map?
You remember it. Oh, you point due north. You point due north and then lock it down.
I can never. I mean, when I set my maybe I've forgotten how to read a compass, but I've got compasses, two or three of them, and when I point it north and set everything up, it seems like if I pull out from the map, I'm not pointing north.
That's the difference between true north and magnetic, and you want true, not magnetic.
Again, so then back to my question.
That's so it's
declination.
Declination.
Is that the right term?
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Sorry. Explain.
Okay, true north is somewhere around where the North Pole is. In Texas, you're probably 7 degrees off. I'm in Oklahoma. I'm about the same, a little bit different. But as you move around the globe, the actual magnetic north is probably 100, 200, 300 miles south and east of true north. Something like that.
Okay.
There you go. Alex just dropped a map for declination. That's awesome. That's a great map on declination.
Still don't know how to use it though.
Well, so okay, so do you have an actual compass?
I want to take a great circle, stick it down where I can manage the buddy hex.
Yeah, you're not there yet.
Where to point it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have a compass that actually has a bezel that you can rotate?
Yes.
Okay, so
I think both of them do.
You take a bearing due north, and then you adjust the bezel for declination. So in your case, looking at Texas, you're somewhere between. I mean, Texas is freaking huge, so you're either like 10 degrees east or 6 degrees east declination. So you would take the bezel and you turn the dial so that the arrow points off, and then you would rotate the compass until the needle is in the declination window. Or if you had a lens static compass, you'd put it in the doghouse, as it's called. And that's true north. You have to account for declination. So then you would go ahead. So basically what you do is you take your rotor and you put the rotor true north. So point it until it goes north and then stops, right? Then you go to the antenna, loosen it up to where you can manually point it, and then you would take your compass, point it north, and then adjust for declination, and then make the needle fit in the new north, quote unquote. That's the true north. And then you would line the antenna up to the true north and bolt it down. Now you've accounted for declination, and then now you could put the azimuthal map on your rotor, and that's how you do it.
The rotor, as you well know, is a little bitty handle on the side, right?
Little bitty. Which rotor do you have? Oh, it's the okay.
Yeah,
you're on a buddy hex.
Yeah, I told you that. Yeah.
Okay. So then now that you've adjusted it for true north, so the arrow, you adjust it right off of that. That's let's see. You got to zero your compass location. Really, that's true. So
So basically, you're just going to you go east. You just every time you turn, you're 8 degrees left of
right. So the truth of the matter is that the buddy hexes being a 2-element is wide enough that it doesn't really matter that much. So you're just 8 degrees off of the pointing point, right? You're 8 degrees east off of whatever you're trying to point at. So if you're looking at the Great Circle and you see a call sign and they're like, oh, they're 240 degrees, and so you start cranking 240 degrees, you would set the declination on the compass, right? And so you've got the north line, and I guess you would offset at 8 degrees. That's true. You'd adjust you'd adjust your arrow off of that main line 8 degrees. That main line is the true north. And then you'd go 240 off of the compass reading. So you'd look at the antenna and go like, it's roughly 240 off of where that degree angle was off of 240.
Right. Yeah. And I don't know why it's so hard for me to I'm sitting here, I've got the buddy hex up, I got a bunch of trees around me, and I can't really even tell, like on my property, I'm like, okay, which way? I don't even know which way really the house is pointing. So is the house pointing east-west, north-south? I know it's probably not north-south, but I could be completely wrong.
You just stand outside of your front door and hold a compass. What do you mean?
Well, true, but I get to where I don't trust the compass, really. I don't.
Why?
Because it swings so much. And
well, then
the
take a table and lay the compass on a table and then just let it chill. You might have a bad compass, to be honest with you. If your compass is moving around
got
like Jack
two.
Sparrow's compass, then get a bar stool or something and put the compass on it and let it just sit there for a second to level out.
The other easy thing to do is take and get one of those ball compasses that lives like an eyeball inside of.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be that precise, like he was saying. You've got a wide enough angle that, that 240s.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. But like, I was thinking, okay, because I think I've got it pointed at Europe right now. So, which means I'm pointing northeast. If I'm correct, which again, I don't know that I am. Well, actually, I think I am just from like running PSK Reporter, right? Or looking at PSK Reporter after I've been running FT8. And I'm actually going, most of my contacts are up that direction. But that's the thing, like if you look at PSK Reporter sometimes, you're seeing what you think may be a beam up that direction, but then you're also seeing a bunch of contacts everywhere else. So it's a little difficult to go, okay, I can use PSK Reporter to point my beam. Not really.
Don, but one, Matt has a good point. Don't overthink it. Just point it in the general direction and send it. It's a hex.
Again, the general direction doesn't hit me, Frank. I don't get even the general directions. I don't know, like, I'm kind of, I think, pointed at Europe. I don't really know that for sure.
Well,
yes, when I get a general sense of how my property's sitting in terms of the rest of the world, then sure, then I would have a feel for, oh, that's the general direction I pointed. But standing in the yard, even with a compass, I just don't feel like I can trust it.
Even on my 3-element from here in Washington, Europe is pretty much almost dead north. Like if you point it dead north, it'll hit Europe.
And Jody's comment that Josh has up is absolutely true too. But you're not an iPhone guy, are you, Don?
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, see, okay, Jody, so
I work in the industry. I know why I don't have an iPhone.
The highest protection of encryption. Yeah, okay.
That's not what I care about.
Okay.
Besides, I used to, because I don't work there anymore. I used to look at anything.
I only use real compasses when I don't have a really good electronic device. And I've got the fancy compasses with the grid dip made for up north when
I swear, am I going to have to get a compass right now? I might have to go get a compass right now.
Well, I've got one on my Android, but
phone. What am I doing? Let's do this. Hold on.
Yeah, I can do one on my phone, but it's like I don't really know what it's trying to tell me.
Use the N76 compass.
Don, I will give you some knowledge of. Yes, I've flown airplanes and things like that, but I have a spatial awareness that is, I don't know. It's different.
Christ, here we go. All right. You guys are all going to get a kick out of this here. So I got a good compass, an actual really good one. Okay, here we go. All right, so this is a Kamenga. Yes, a real compass. Okay, so this is slightly different than a base plate compass. So, okay, so here's your... Oh, that's not going to work because this is metal. Okay, let's get this out of here. And let's wait for this to free itself up.
But by the way, I do appreciate you guys' help. So
yeah, absolutely. Okay, so the needle, the actual compass bit is pointed north right now, but my bezel is way over here, right? This bezel line.
Mm-hmm.
So what we need to do to account for true north, in my case, is like 15 degrees. In your case, is like 8. So we'll pretend it's like where you're at. So there's, let's see if I can free up some more space here because I got to get a little bit tighter here so you guys can see it. And the reality is that this is actually a compass, and I can't make it point that way to show north. So just know that that's north. But you can see here, see the degrees lines right here. So it's like 0, 2, 4, and then that's 6. Well, that's about 6 to 10-ish is Texas. If you were in Texas and I rotate this line over here, So let's just say where you're at is 6 or about 7. We'll go there. So if you're standing and that's pointed north, then this line is true north. The direction this points is true north.
Okay.
So now, with that said, if we wanted to work a contact that was 200-something degrees off of true north, then you'd work your way around the bezel until you found 200, which is about right there, and then you just give it the 6 degrees, so roughly this way off of north. So behind you and to the left is the direction you should be pointing your antenna. That make sense?
Yeah.
It's honestly, you're probably overthinking it. That's the truth of it. You're probably overthinking it.
Well, see, what I was doing originally was I was trying to get like the map that snow cones dropped, right? The Great Circle map, and then be able to look at it from where I'm at, but then know where north is. And I get that on a hex beam, I don't have to be, I don't have to point it exactly in that direction. You can be, quite a bit off, and still your beam is headed up that direction. That's fine. But just getting the idea of here's north from my property, and then getting a Great Circle map drawn against where I'm at, which is another trick, because I don't know where you go, which websites there are for generating.
Oh, that's easy.
Those.
I can show you that. Yeah.
But
So,
I downloaded an application, but that's not really the right thing.
It's
Yeah.
easier than that. Hold on. So let's see. So if you just search azimuthal map calculator or whatever, so and I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. Azimuthal. I like azimuthal. I like azimuthal better.
Matt and I just dropped a link to it.
Azimuthal map generator. NS6Ts. If it's got a ham radio call sign in it, you know it's probably what you're looking for. So if you type in, let's see, location, is location your grid square? So if I said DM13, create map, is it going to like that? Yeah, I think so. We'll see. It's loading, loading, loading.
I would give it a distance. It works better if you give it a specific distance.
Distance to what?
Wherever you're trying to hit. So, if it's...
no, I want a map for a rotator, right? So you don't have a distance. You have all the way to the edge of the map is where you're wanting to see. You don't want to only sit, because the only reason I could see them putting a distance in there is they're going to limit the map to that distance.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that you just give it 15,000 kilometers, it'll show the entire world.
Yeah, I would say that should be the default.
I just want to show me in the center of it, because azimuthal means that you're in the center of the map. Did I get bit by like a spider? Jesus. I got bit by something. Like recently.
I mean, that map's taken forever for you. I've already loaded.
Yeah, what's going on?
3 different. Reload it, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's loading. The little blue bar is going up. I'm not going to mess with it right now.
Yeah, I generated one. Yeah, this is what I was trying to do in the first place.
Yep.
And then what you would do, and again, this is me, but I would take it out, line it up with true north, like you guys are saying.
So there you go.
Line it up with true north, and then rotate the beam generally in that direction, and then I'm good to go. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. So
you guys have nailed it, because this is what I want to do. Yeah.
So right here, this draws the map as my location being the center of the world, which is what you need, because we're trying to draw degrees off of that. So if I wanted to hit Australia, or New Zealand for that matter, I know that I need to be somewhere in the 280 to 250 degree range with pointing my antenna, which is a little bit off of what I was pointing at, but that's it. Like that's the right answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think honestly what you guys were talking about, true north versus magnetic north,
it doesn't matter that much.
Doesn't matter on a hex beam, right?
Well, so it depends. If this is giving you, if the map
There's
is
that
giving
answer again.
If the map is giving you true north degrees, then yes, it kind of matters. If the map is giving you magnetic north degrees, then that matters. So again, 8 degrees of separation with your 40 to 60 degree wide hex beam is probably not that big a deal. You could actually probably tune it just by adjusting it when making a QSO with somebody, and you're going to get it in the wheelhouse. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I got a tip also. If you go to QRZ and you look up a specific call sign, so if you look up like a ZL or a VK call sign, and you go to details, it'll show you the degrees they're at.
Yeah, I've seen that. But in order to know what those degrees or where to set those degrees, you have to know where you're starting from.
You have to know how to use the tool that you have in your hand, which is the compass, and how to adjust it for magnetic to true.
Not really on a hex beam. Josh is right about that.
It's not.
I agree, but if you're in the wrong spot, if somebody's listening to this from Europe, it's going to be the opposite, and things like that. So you have to know that
kind of.
Yeah.
Information.
Well, hold on. Kind of, right? Because if you're in Europe and you're pointing short path, wherever that is, to Australia, you're still going to be relatively close. You're still going to be okay. It's not that big a deal. The ham radio lady says the Boy Scouts has a great orienteering merit badge. You should probably, okay, this sounds really dumb. It sounds really dumb, but even if you're not in scouting, you can get the merit badge books. It'll teach you a lot about these different things. I had that merit badge when I was in scouts. It's a great merit badge. It's really fun because you learn about orienteering, like running orienteering courses, which is really cool.
Yeah, I took a lot of that stuff when I was in Boy Scouts. We studied it a lot, but that was 40, 50 years ago. 50 years ago, yeah, for me. No, actually, it's more than that. But anyway, we won't go into it.
I wasn't laughing about that. I was laughing about the comment from K6ARK. Adam's basically saying that we're sweating a plus or minus 45 degree shift of your antenna when we're talking about like a tiny sliver of a degree variance going from magnetic north to wherever. It's fine.
Right.
It's fine. The difference is not that big.
And Josh, just real quick, K6YYL, that's Kim. She's a good ham radio POTA friend from down there in your neck of the woods.
Thought she was in San Diego.
L.A., Southern California area.
More in my neck of the woods
than
Frank's. Well, it's closer than Frank is. I think that's the point.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, everybody's closer than Frank. Quite a ways away from Frank, at least from what I understand.
No, Chuck's 50-minute drive, and Adam Dennis, 86DM, is an hour and a half drive for me.
With traffic?
Yeah.
I've been through LA. Took me a lot longer than that.
No, he's not talking about LA.
San Francisco.
I'm not in LA.
San Francisco, same thing. I'm from Texas. I know. It's the same thing.
It's not.
That's like saying Houston and no.
Amarillo and Houston, yeah.
Like if you took California and turned it on its side, like the edges of Texas is kind of like the east to west. The north to south of California is kind of like the east to west of Texas. If you turn California outside, it's kind of like that. Frank's on the north side. I'm on the south side.
Well, yeah,
there's two sides to every Schwartz.
When I drove to California, and I mean, and I live in Dallas, which is about halfway across. It took me more time to get out of. It took me 10 hours to get out of Texas. It didn't take anywhere near that time to get out of any of the other 3 states. But I mean, I get that on California, you're driving the short way, not the long way, north to south. Right.
If it could take you 10 hours to go from the south. Well, if you started in San Diego and you went north to the Bay Area, it could easily take you 10 hours with traffic to get through LA easily.
Okay, so here's a hot tip. hot tip time from Frank, okay? From San Francisco Bay Area, and I'm talking the general Bay Area. I'll make it specific. From San Francisco, from the city of San Francisco to Barstow, California, doing 68 miles an hour with no traffic is 9.5 hours.
Barstow's
Yeah, so from here to El Paso, no traffic.
Yeah. This isn't a competition. I'm just saying it's similar.
No. Just
north south versus
distance
east west.
is all.
That's all it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Somebody got it. Somebody got the comment. Somebody got
last time I
said.
went to San Francisco, I flew. It took me 5 hours in and out, door to door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the funny thing to me is like I said to Mike, we're going to from Dallas to Houston, and most of the guys that I'm going with are flying, and it's like, why would you spend that much time in airports when you can simply get in the car and drive there for less time?
Well,
Adam's right.
I got status, so I'm happy to go hang out in the Delta Lounge for an hour and then hop on a plane and relax and enjoy myself. I have no problem flying now. It's taken me a little while, but I'm good. I'm good now.
Don't you have self-driving too?
I do. I have Blue Cruise, which is not the same as like the Tesla self-drive, but it's good enough.
Oh.
It's fantastic. I barely have to do anything when I get in my truck. Just get it in the carpool lane, hit the button, and ooh baby, we're going.
Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of the same as riding on the plane, except Josh, there's Buc-ee's along the way.
That's true. You got me on that one. I can't compete with the Buc-ee's.
Oh, and we went to a Buc-ee's on last weekend, and they had Tesla chargers on one side, and for some reason BMW chargers on the other. So apparently they're going through and putting chargers in to Buc-ee's.
Mm-hmm. I gotta admit, I'm getting my Ford adapter here probably this month, where I will be able to charge at Tesla facilities. I won't be doing it very often, but you got to admit, if I'm doing a long drive, I will hit up a Tesla. I don't have a problem hitting up a Tesla if I'm driving somewhere.
Well, yeah, when I was looking, Tesla to the Mach-E to
we talked about that.
The Ioniq, I looked at them, and I just the problem I was having is on like the Ioniqs and the Kias, and I forgot what that was.
Yeah.
Anyway, Nero or something. I just couldn't find them in stock. The Ford had one in stock, but they wanted like their financing charge was about 7%.
Oh, that's crazy.
And it's like,
no.
It's like, no. And Tesla had 1.99%. Now, my sister convinced me, well, the hell with that, just pay cash. So I did. But
that's what I did.
Yes. Yeah, the thing is, though, the Mach-E still, they were not changing. I wanted white on white because this is Texas. You don't get white and black. And I wanted white on white,
Sure.
and they were just not getting any new Fords in.
Yeah.
It's like they stopped, and recently I heard they have stopped. Ford stopped making them. Now, that may be a rumor. I don't know.
I don't know.
But I wasn't seeing any new ones coming in here.
My point of view, like if you actually think you're going to pay cash, oftentimes it can be good, regardless of the manufacturer, to just put the car together that you want, because oftentimes that means the dealer won't charge you a markup on anything. It's just like freight to them. They're just moving it. They're just trying. It's like you already ordered it. You're already done. If they try and give you a cost up, you're like, hey, I already like secured the price on this. I'm not going to pay you extra. There's very little haggling.
Yeah, Tesla doesn't do that. I mean, essentially, you don't even talk to anybody. I mean, literally through the whole process, I didn't talk to anybody. And so everything is fixed on the website. You if you want that, you click a button and it's this cost. There's no negotiating. Oh, you should really give me that at 4. No, it's all the same. And basically what I'd done is selected a car. This is the way I want it. And then somebody said, hey, you can go, Tesla has cars on their lots. There are lots out there with cars on them. And I said, I didn't know that. Sure. And if you go in through a different way on the website, you can go and look. And sure enough, the car I wanted was on the dealer lot with all the same options that I was going to pick. So I literally got it within 3 days.
We're losing people quickly because we're talking about electric vehicles, but I am
sorry about that.
I'm impressed that Don was like, I should look at electric vehicles for commuting. It makes sense. Very impressed that you thought about that and went with an electric vehicle. So good for you. But yeah, I did have fun haggling on my wife's minivan with her, because her and I tag teaming the haggling. That was awesome. That guy was like, "Get me the hell out of here."
Well, awesome. you know what my POTA deal is. So I'm with her on the minivan. I was listening to the podcast, talking about that, and I'm like, yeah.
Okay, is my mic? Somebody says my mic is.
Yeah, it's very scratchy.
Okay. I assumed it was me.
All right, hold on. Is it okay now?
Nope.
No.
Yeah, I still hear it.
Okay.
It's like you got a ground loop.
I'm not transmitting. There's no transmission going on.
Only when you talk. Yeah, well, okay. No, it's like you have a ground loop. It's not like RF.
I didn't do anything.
Yeah, electronics fail every once in a while.
I pushed a thing. Is that better?
Nope.
It's even coming across the stream.
I can hear it now.
Okay. Still.
Oh, it's bad now.
Hello.
Still there.
All right. Well, I guess the stream's over.
Sorry, I didn't mean to take up the whole stream.
No, it's okay. We're already past the 9 o'clock hour anyway. So.
Well, damn it! I was going to ask you what movies you've been watching.
I haven't watched anything.
Could the cable be failing?
Maybe, but I mean, hold on.
Have you turned it off and turned it back on again?
How's that?
Nope.
Okay.
Andrew has it right.
Can you do a factory reset?
I didn't hear any of that. Jody, go ahead.
Can you do a factory reset?
While I'm live? No. Jody, what were you saying?
Yeah, do you have a camera mic close that you can just try and switch over to it for a second?
Nope. I've removed all other mic options. Hold on. Let's see. Hello. Any different?
No.
Slightly less, but I can't say that that's because of something you've done.
All right. Well, that's it.
Yeah, Chris had a good idea there. It is like a dead battery in a cloud lifter. You don't happen to have a cloud lifter, do you?
Cloud lifters don't have batteries. They're supplied by the source voltage.
Well, if they are supplied upstream, but you can put a battery in them.
Interesting. I don't know that I do. Hold on.
Yeah, it may not be him.
Different?
No. Bad. And yeah, this may be something you have to just sit down and debug.
All right, and that means we're wrapping up the stream. Take it easy on the Discord, guys.
73 Josh.
See ya.
73 Josh.
It was about time to end it anyway, so thanks everybody, appreciate it. I am a robot, Josh. Good night, everybody. 73. See ya.